Hello everybody and welcome to Swim or Sink 118 ran by Splatoon. My name is Matt and I'm here with Greg and we're going to be commentating the first half of this tournament.
Yeah, gonna get in the action pretty soon here. We have Frostbite versus Inked to get us started. Round one, gonna start off on Clan Blitz Scorch. Matt, do you know much about these teams?
These are two well-known mid-level teams. I've even fought in these teams before. Both of these teams have been around for a few months, more than a few months actually. Frostbite and Inked, both well-known mid-level teams. And starting off for Clan Scorch Gorge is gonna be definitely gonna be a closer set starting off early into this tournament.
Yeah, we have a good one to start off with for sure. I've seen these two teams around quite a bit. I popped in on a lot of Reborn streams. I recommend checking him out. He's got some good streams, does some coaching on the side, so a very knowledgeable player about the game. Looking to kind of see what that knowledge could bring here on this map.
I mean, going into this is definitely going to be a close set. You know, these two teams, they're really equal in skill level. They're both mid-level, and they've been around for a while. So they have coordination. They know how to play with each other. And now they want to use all of it tonight. They want to get into those higher brackets. They want to get into Great White and Hammerhead, whatever they want to get into, whatever they're aiming towards. They want to win this set. And starting off on Clan Blitz Scorch Gorge, I feel like we might see a bit of a slower game since it's Clan Blitz on this map. But, you know, not the worst stage you can play to start off the set.
Yeah, I'm curious if Deceased is gonna pull out the Nautilus. Seems like that's one of the mains that they usually roll with. And on this map, that whole platform in the middle of the stage can kind of just be this barrier that a lot of weapons like to shark around. A lot of people like to go on top mid or just shark along that wall. So the point sensors can be very helpful if Deceased does go with a Nautilus to deploy that and just give their team an idea of where everybody is.
Yeah, so as our game is going to be starting in a second, I think, who do you think is going to have the advantage starting off on here? Oh, never mind, we're going right into the game. Alrighty, Clan Blitz Scorch Gorge, Swimmers take 118, round one, game one. Let's see what these teams bring to the table with their comps.
Yeah, so both teams going with the tried and true ballpoint, but after that we do see some mix-ups. Deceased on that Nautilus, as I said. Both teams gonna opt for tactical, or one with the Tri-Slosher, one with the End Zap. And as we see right now, everybody just kind of going into mid, peeking around that top mid, and looks like one is already gonna go down on the side of Inked.
And I've seen that Zap and Ballpoint have been really popular. You know, Cooler's been really strong lately, so they want to use these weapons to into the comp to their advantage. And right away, Frostbite breaking that clan basket, scoring a couple in there to try to start off the push. Not going to be too big though. One down on the side of Ink. And now all Ink has to do is just play this pretty safely. Just play that defense. They're scoring a couple of claims in there, but the Tri-Slosher goes down. And that's going to be great for Ink. They're going to try to get back in there. We see the shooter go down. And now they want to get back into mid as Frostbite is holding it really well.
Yeah, Funyo on the ballpoint, very important pick there to pick off the Slosher on the grates. That could have been a much bigger push if that defense didn't hold up. And that's, you know, we saw Frostbite win that first engagement, but a lot of times if you win that first engagement in clams, you don't quite have a lot of clams to make it a big score, but still able to get more than just the one power clam in. But definitely going to want to try to push more here as they see Sungoro pop the Ink Jet out, going to chase after these guys, and we see gathering around top mid, two go down. Looks like one will go down the side, but then there's three down now. Gonna just have to jump out, and it's gonna be Frostbite putting more points on the board.
We see down into the 50s for Frostbite as Ink is really trying to play this defense here. They got more claims coming in here, down to 35. The Tri-Strikes helping them distance Ink away from themselves, try to play separate, and we do see a double right there. And that's just the ballpoint standing there, two down on the side of Frostbite, and that's a wipe. And down to 20, Frostbite is continuing this push. They want to sell out this basket for more claims as Ink is trying to rush in, throw their bombs, try to get them out of their base. But now it's down into the singles. We do see the ballpoint pop there, trying to just distance everybody away. They just see one more claim there. The Tri-Slosher goes down there, and they do throw it in.
Wow, just like that, KO for Frostbite. Really nice coordination there. You know, good communication on their side to know who's going to stay up and protect the basket, who's going back for clams, because you see so many clam pushes just die because the offense is so dominant, but nobody's going back and getting those clams. But they were able to keep that basket open and get the KO.
What a great game to start off for Frostbite, leading this set in 1-0. Next up, Splat Zones Haggle. What do you think about this? You think maybe Ink can like do something better here? You know, Splat Zones, it's way different from Clan Blitz. If Ink is able to keep their defense on, which I've seen them do in the past, they can take this game and lead them into a game 3. But Frostbite has been really, saw how aggressive they were last game. So if they can just keep up that aggression, they can go 2-0 over Ink here. But it's just a matter of time to see what these two teams bring to the table and if they're going to be switching their comps.
Yeah, Ink, you know, sometimes you can come out flat game 1, you know, first game of the entire tournament. And a map like that, really, things did just move so fast. They really just lost a team fight in the beginning. They went back into mid and then lost another team fight and just couldn't quite hold the defense. I think here with the objective just kind of in the middle of the map, they'll be able to be a little more laser focused on that, especially this map is just so narrow. They're going to be able to set up where they want and just kind of have more control over the objective than have to run all around the map and put themselves at risk.
Yeah, no, and I see they have those sides of the map that able to flank on those are going to be huge for these two teams, and the fact that they just have that area to paint up. And I think Ballpoint and Zap are going to be really strong. Recently, we've seen Ballpoint and Zap how strong they are in the meta, so I think these two teams are going to be using it to their advantage here. So going into this game, I feel like we're going to be seeing a lot of coolers being popped and a lot of inkjets.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to see both teams going to be rocking a vanilla splatter shot here, so we're going to see some Zukas come back to try to get some offense going. I love Zuka on this map. You know, a lot of people kind of paint the zone from the corners and they have that cover, but you can arc some Zuka shots behind there and get some pretty nice surprise kills.
But right away, we do see that Slosher going on the offense on that right side, as Ink is pretty much just trying to paint that zone down. Using that double Slosher is going to be huge for them. The not in the Ballpoint combo. They do have their Inkjet ready, and the Zuka's coming out on both sides, trying to take each other out there. 2 down on the side of Frostbite, and 2 down on the side of Ink now. And now we do see Reborn on the flank, but it's not going to do much there. But they do get a pick, it looks like. And it looks like the zone is now just flipped, and it looks like Frostbite is trying to move back in and get that control.
Yeah, it was a nice little play there by Reborn. Able to get out with their lives, but that turned the attention of Ink over to him, which meant that his team was able to basically walk back in and get the cap.
And right away, we do see that Zap going on the offense, taking out Snow, but he's able to finish them off there. As Frostbite does have control over the zone, we see this he's staying on this offensive not plays, getting the picks that they need here. And we do see that Slush on the flank, and they do get a double. That's going to be huge there. And now Ink has capped that zone. The C's goes down, but now it looks like Ink is painting that zone. And it looks like this could go for them as long as they can just paint this. We do see that Inkjet coming out there just trying to distance everybody away from each other. The leader from Frostbite trying to pick them all off. But we do see that Trizuka on the flank.
Yeah, not able to quite get a pick, and now the tactical is out. This is a decent position here for Ink. They are going to get 3 down now on the side of Frostbite. Just the E-leader left, getting a little chased off that 10 area, but able to hold their ground now, and that's a lot of pressure the E-leader can exert, so going to be interested to see how much Ink can push up. One of them does go down to that leader, though.
We do see that Tri-Slusher getting picked off, and this is going to be Frostbite's. That's going to be their little... They're going to be entering there, as we do see the leader and the Zap going in there, the Tri-Strikes and the Zuka going out there. There comes the Zap. There's the tactical from the Zap there, and we do see all the specials popped on the side of Frostbite. Ink, they're 2 down, and we do see that Jet... They're able to get one of the picks off of the members of Frostbite, but it looks like they do lose that down. But Frostbite's now 2 down, and this is a chance for Ink to move back in.
Oh yeah, but now 2 of them already go down. It looks like they're probably not going to get the cap, which could be lead here for Frostbite. Oh, and the Nautilus goes down too, so now they're all from spawn. They're going to pop the tactical here to see if they can get this fight before too many points are given up. Do they have any other special? They are going to pop the Zuka here. Looks like they do get 2 picks with the Zuka.
And that's going to be huge there. The zone flipping back into Ink's possession. And with that 3 down, it looks like Ink is going to be pushing really, really far into their base there. They want to watch those flanks. They want to make sure none of the members of Frostbite are going on that offensive play to try to get any picks. They need to be careful of those Tri-Strikes, which are now being popped right on that zone there. Would you see the Jet being popped there on the side of Ink? 2 down on the side of Ink, and this is going to be really risky for them. They're popping the brain, try to keep the zone capped in their favor. 2 down on the side of Frostbite. As they continue this pain, they are able to keep the zone.
I think they're going to hold it here with the Ink Storm now, providing some jumps back in, so Let's see if they can just hang on to lead. They don't have anybody in front of the zone, so Frostbite's going to be able to get some ground. But as I say that, the Tri-Slash on the flank, they are going to get taken out. Another flank coming from the other direction now. Snow on the shot. Looks like they're going to get spotted too. But they are staying alive in the meantime. Oh, finally do get taken out, but now the Inkjet is out once again by Funyo. Gonna push these players back here, see if they can get a pick. The zone's gonna go flip in the meantime. Somehow that player survives. Funyo not able to get the kill, but staying alive, still paying the zone. This game is so close.
The Tri-Strikes coming in there, they're distancing themselves away from Ink with the double. Frostbite's going to be taking that zone, popping the cooler, and now they're just going to be pushing in the Tri-Slasher, luckily being able to jump out. They have 2 specials out already, but Ink, they have just a minute left, and this Slosher goes down, and the shooter goes down, and now it's into a 3v3. We do see this leader trying to get whatever picks that they can on that ballpoint, but it's not going to work, and Ink does have a slight chance, but no, they go 1 down there. As the Ink Storm is popped, they're trying whatever they can to do to move in there. They don't have much time.
Oh yeah, just great positioning by Frostbite. They are gonna get this win and take this set. Just great aggressive positioning. You had all 3 of the aggro weapons just on the same page, pushing way up, and then the leader just able to sit back and provide support. And they pretty much just dive in and got a bunch of trades, which, you know, in that situation, trades are just fine for them. And so they're able to just keep Inked off zone and get the win.
Yeah, I mean, when you got that lead on zones, you know, you have control, and even if you get the trade there and go 1 down, that's worse for the enemy team that they got taken out, and fine for your team because they're still able to play defense, and it turns the match into a 3v3 for a few seconds. And we saw how Frostbite was able to keep that aggression up, able to get those picks and use those coolers to play defense. And they just had great paint there, and that's going to be a game for them. And going 2 over Ink is going to really help them out here later in the tournament.
Yeah, definitely much more impressive showing by Ink in that game. You know, game 1 definitely kind of just had a hard time, but they really made a game out of game 2 there. But I think a big turning point was when a lot of the members on Frostbite went down. Sungora was able to just stand their ground, not give up too much space, and eventually get a pick to help Frostbite on the counter pushes. And then I really like the coordination of they were really pushing in with the Tri-Strikes, just, you know, kind of using that smokescreen effect of like, hey, nobody can see through it, so if we just kind of push in through this space that we're taking, we can catch some people off guard, which worked out for them quite a few times that game.
That is true. And we saw how back-to-back it was. I mean, Frostbite was able to use those Tri-Strikes perfectly, and I saw it. They were able to just perfectly place them a little bit, like right at that zone line. And that forced Ink to back up a lot, which allowed Frostbite to paint over and kept that zone in their favor, and gave Ink the huge penalty, which would later on help them in the match as they had to regroup, get their specials ready. I think they had the zone, but they had to try to get through that penalty. Frostbite was able to get the specials and get the picks that they needed to move back in and cap that zone, take those offensive plays, and that's going to be a great game for them. And going into tower control now on Manta Maria, this is going to be a great game for them.
Oh, we see the S-Blast come out. Excited to see what this weapon can do. To see switching off of the Nautilus, going for a blaster here on tower control. Let's see if that can maybe shake them up and get a win for Inked here.
Yeah, I think they're going for a little bit more offensive plays with that S-Blast on that quick respawn here. And going in right for the tower here, we see the ballpoint taking a really high position on their bunker, trying to get whatever area covered as they can. We do see that Tri-Slasher on the right, and we do see the Inkjet getting a couple of picks there, down 2 on both sides, and we do see that ballpoint on the side of Ink trying to just stay on that mass, and with the Tri-Strikes coming in there, and that's going to block out Frostbite and Ink getting that first 2 points there, but they're going to have to keep it up as they're 2 down on the side of Frostbite. This is going to be a great chance for Ink to get some points on the board.
Yeah, nice position of those Tri-Strikes. Just clear them off their bunker area. You know, it's probably not going to get any kills, but at least get them on the street, so that way they have to take the fight to their street, and first checkpoint's going to be pretty safe. But as I say, that second checkpoint not going to be quite as safe. We see the Tri-Strikes come out. It's going to clear off tower. The counter strikes able to get maybe 1 kill, but the tower is going to be flipped over to Frostbite here.
And now they're able to just cover over mid. They got the chance, and now it's starting for Frostbite to push there. They have 2 specials on the side of Frostbite, but we do see 1 going down there. The Jet trying to get any picks that they can, but Funyo takes them out, and that's going to be huge for Ink as they're able to keep their lead with 3 down. Inked is going to be moving back into Frostbite's space pretty quickly.
Yeah, I want to see what kind of positions they can take here to be aggressive. Do they know they have, looks like a couple enemies coming from the left here. Looks like Funyo popping the Inkjet aggressively here. Not quite able to get a kill quite yet, but the tower is still moving. Nice teammates able to pick up, so get some points. Looks like they didn't quite clear the checkpoint yet, though.
They do actually clear that second checkpoint there. We see everyone just trying to dogpile onto Ink that Slosher, able to take them out with the Zap's cooler. I mean, not the Zap's cooler, the Tri-Slosher's cooler coming in there to help them get those respawns. And Ink is looking really good for this match, though they're 1 down on the side of Frostbite. As long as they can take control of the map, they do have a chance of pushing back in here. And they do take that tower. But now it's just time to see if Ink can play defense long enough to stall out this match and make it a 2-1, or if Frostbite can really just take that 3-0 and push back in just as strong as they were doing on the other games.
Yeah, Ink just keeps winning these neutral fights, you know, they push, they clear a checkpoint, they die, they come back to mid, they start another push. Like, Frostbite's just getting no chance to play offense here. They keep just losing that fight after playing the defense, but Ink just keeps getting a checkpoint one at a time, and right now it looks like this might finally be a chance for Frostbite to get on the board, as it looks like a couple of trades going down in mid. They are able to take the tower here, but the Tri-Slosher right in the face of the tower, gonna go down. And here's a good opportunity for Frostbite to at least clear this first checkpoint, if not more.
Now we see those Strikes trying to just throw them off tower, but it's not going to be enough. 2 down inside of Ink, and Frostbite is going to be moving in. They do have that cooler to help out, but 3 go down to that Inkjet, and that's going to be huge for Ink, and that's going to completely stop Frostbite's chance of taking lead here. And they're going to have to just wait for those respawns to come in. Ink, a really good play from the ballpoint, taking out 3 of them. That's going to be huge for them.
Yeah, Funyo shutting down that push, and now great position here for a ballpoint on the grates. Gonna get a pick right away, but here comes the Inkjet from the opposing ballpoint now. We're looking to get some kills. The S-Blast gonna dive in. Looks like they aren't able to get the kill. And so now Funyo still has their ballpoint, their Inkjet ready. Probably gonna need it for this situation here. As you can tell, pressure on the tower, gonna back up this Fizzy Bomb. Really like what we're seeing now.
And now we see all these picks happening in mid. 2 down on both teams with a minute left. Ink is in a pretty good position now. As long as they can just take map for themselves and just try to lock out Frostbite as much as possible, save their specials, they're going to look really strong here. And we do see that ballpoint getting another pick. This Inkjet is looking really strong, though it's down to a 2v2 now in mid. We do see the ballpoint on the side of Frostbite trying to get whatever picks and try to turn up as much as possible. With the Zap down, this is going to be really risky for them going into this last 30 seconds.
Yeah, they really need to start getting some picks in neutral. They're just not quite able to get it done on this map. They keep just either getting trades, or now here comes the Blaster fighting in mid. Gonna take out that Slosher. And again, just incredible defense here by Ink. Just not really ever letting Frostbite get any kind of momentum.
Now in these last 10 seconds, Ink is doing a really good job of this defense. Locking them out is going to be huge here, but they take the tower last second. The Tri-Strikes coming in there to cover the tower. And just
and they're the only one alive!
Just with the one member of Ink, the Tri-Strikes throwing Frostbite off the tower. And Ink's going to be taking their game off of Frostbite.
Oh man. You love to see it. The T-Tech, last player alive. Doesn't matter. Tri-Strike comes out, able to stop the push on their own. No problem. No sweat, guys. Great win there by Ink. But again, Frostbite taking this set, but you know, for Ink, good to have some momentum to carry them on for the rest of the pool's play here.
And now going into this, I mean, Frostbite, they do get the win here, but Ink was able to take a game off of them, which is what they really wanted to do here, going further into the bracket. We saw how well they were able to play that defense in tower control, and we saw that in splat zones. So great defense from Ink on both sides. Frostbite just had a little bit more aggression on Clambless and splat zones, which really helped them. But Ink's defense, the ballpoints picks with the Inkjet was really good for Ink, and Frostbite just couldn't move in while that Inkjet was live.
Yeah, really solid job that game for sure. You know, if you're a team like Ink, I feel like you're kind of thinking maybe if this was the best of 5, maybe that's our time to turn it around. But you know, when you're when you're you know, a team that kind of loses a close set like that, a lot of times you want to get another chance to go at it again. And in this case, you can do that. I see there is a tournament, brand new tournament coming up here. Okay, sorry I got cut off there. But again, level up. New tournament here for mid-level teams. Again, that first tournament is going to be Friday, August 11th, 7 p.m. And like I was saying, the reason I was harping on Ink so much is because they're already signed up for that tournament. So be like Inked and be like some of the other teams that are signed up and give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a newer team trying to get as much experience as possible, Level Up's going to be your area to do that. August 11th, 7 p.m. EST. Y'all should go sign up.
With that, I think we are going to take a break until we get our round 2 matches all set up. So don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Swim or Sink 118. My name is Greg, and I'm joined here by Matt. Matt, what do we have for round 2?
We have Downpour versus Jelly Squids starting up on Rainmaker Undertow Spillway. I think this is going to be a really interesting match. I've seen Jelly Squids before, but I actually haven't seen Downpour. So this is going to be a surprise to me what actually happens during this match.
Yeah, probably haven't seen Downpour because from what I can tell, this team is a week old.
Oh.
Just browsing their Sendu page here, established 8/2/23, so assuming they're North America, that means 8 is in August. You never know, sometimes those Europeans throw us off with their more logical date shorthand system. But yeah, so a team that is celebrating their, I guess, week birthday. Congrats making it a week, not disbanding.
Yeah.
Jelly Squids, total opposite though. They've been a team since 2021, which, like, man, how many of us can say that we're on the same team that we were on in 2021? Probably not too
many people. I mean, even Jelly Squids was around when I started commentating. And look at them now. They're still going strong here, and I think this is going to be an interesting match. You know, Jelly Squids, they play together a lot. They have a lot of experience with each other. But with Downpour being a new team, they're learning their coordination, and I think this tournament is really going to help them out, especially with Rainmaker, because Rainmaker actually really, you need a lot of coordination for this. So starting off on Rainmaker Undertow is going to be pretty good for them.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting kind of clash in styles here because, you know, both can work, both have worked. The established team versus the brand new one. You know, we see pickups all the time that are basically a team that just formed an hour before the tournament. Sometimes you're able to just catch lightning in a bottle with these people that, you know, you're not quite as familiar with, but things just kind of click right off the bat. Other times, you know, it is nice to play. I've been on teams where we've been together a year or more, and it's just having that knowledge of, you just know where everybody's going to position, you know where everybody is, your communications like that. So it's be interesting to see these teams go at it right now.
And here we have it. We see some pretty interesting comps on both sides. We see that Zap and ballpoint combo from Downpour, and we do see the comp that Jelly Squids has been using for a while. You know, that Tri-Slosher Octobrush comp, it's worked for them for the past, so they're using it now.
Yeah, let's see. So right off the gate here, gonna have to hide from this Inkjet as they're coming out, trying to take some space. The Wiper pushing in through the right zone as well, trying to just grab. And looks like it will be Downpour with the first Rainmaker pickup. They do have one member go down right away. Inkjet of their own coming out on the side of Jelly Squids, but it's gonna be taken out. And now nobody's really able to get that checkpoint. A huge pick there by the Dually Squelchers, and able to save that kind of breakaway. And now Rainmaker has to deal with a crack in their face.
Yeah, I saw that was a nice roll away from Downpour, and they're pushing in really tough here. And we see Jelly Squids trying to put these defensive plays, and we do see that brush go down there, and they're going to be pushing in there. They want to clear that checkpoint, but they go 2 down, so this is going to be really risky for them now. The Jets pop there, but they're still trying to push in there, but the Swelling taking them out. 3 downs at a Downpour, and that's going to be great for Jelly Squids. Now they want to take that Rainmaker, and they want to take as much control as possible. But that Jet out from the ballpoint and takes out the Rainmaker. That's going to stop Jelly Squids, and now they're 2 down, and they're 3 down now.
Got a little nervous. It looked like Jelly Squids just a little kind of slow digging that Rainmaker out of there, and I worried that Downpour would be able to get back in mid that time. Looks like that's exactly what happened. Just not quite able to push up whenever so many members of Downpour were down. So now Downpour is going to get rewarded with that, with a broken checkpoint here, but they are going to all go down in the process.
So that's going to be great for them. They do clear that checkpoint, so Jelly Squids does have their work cut out for them. But now they really want to rush into mid now. They want to gain as much control as possible, but with the Octobrush going down there, and the Jets ending, we do see that Tri-Strike, and not the Tri-Strike, the Zuka out from the side of Downpour. And the Rainmakers is fighting for their lives right now. The Octobrush taking the shot out, and the ballpoint goes down there. But now the Octobrush goes down there, and Jelly Squids are now 2 down. Actually, no, 2 down on both sides there. The Tri-Slash are trying to get whatever picks that they can. They do take out the Stamper, but it does look like they aren't going to be able to push it back in much further as their Zap goes down.
Yeah, it looks like here, Tor just keeping an eye on the right side, but I want to see if Jelly Squids can kind of concentrate more of their people on left. They have the Inkjet kind of blocking them off. They are going to pick up this Rainmaker, and now see if anybody can get ahead of it. Looks like the Zuka is going to pick it off prematurely, though. So again, now the Inkjet's going to start to try to push them back. I think they're going to have to give up this corner.
Reducing the Slosher, getting some picks there, but the ballpoint getting a pick with that Inkjet. 2 down on both sides, but Downpour doing a really good job of defense. They can afford these trades now that they're able to just play these, make these really big defensive plays, since Jelly Squids doesn't have that checkpoint, but with the Kraken and CDS coming in there, they are able to pick up the Rainmaker, but the Swelling goes down there, and that's 2 down on the side of Downpour. That's 3 down on this side of Downpour, so that's going to be great for Jelly Squids, and that's going to be a delayed wipeout for them, and this is their chance to clear checkpoint now.
Yeah, nice play, all set up there by Mark. You know, they had to give up the corner, like I said, they just didn't quite have the resources, but by backing up just a little, they had the Kraken ready to keep the Rainmaker in that corner, which just totally set up the Octobrush player, enabled them to just get a couple of amazing picks, and now a broken checkpoint. They do go 2 down here. I'd like to see if they could just try to get lead, even if it's a little slim. They are going to do just that, trying to go across the grates, but the Stamper is waiting for them.
That was a great pick on the Stamper, taking them out just before they were able to get a lot of points. Though they don't have a strong lead, it's a lead nonetheless. And now Jelly Squids just has to play defense for the next minute, and they'll have this game. But Downpour, if they can just be really aggressive and take out the members of Jelly Squids, it's going to be really good for them. But as I say that, they go 2 down.
Man, just so much AoE damage. The Octobrush and the Tri-Slots are just rushing up through mid there and able to do a lot of damage, but now they do go down, so this could be an opportunity here for Downpour to get a counter push. Curious, it looks like Jelly Squids is staying pretty committed to the right side. A lot of times you can maybe get a deceptively easy push off on the right side if a team is overcommitting to defense on the left, but right now Jelly Squids staying pretty even, just letting their aggros dive in for trades now, which is fine by them if they can just hold this defense, but now their backline goes down, so kind of that pillar of that defense is gone. It's going to be a dangerous situation here as Azuka comes out to go down on the side of Jelly Squids, and now this is an opportunity for Downpour.
As they're rushing in right away, the Rainmaker needs to be careful. The Splatling taking them out just in time. They're 2 down on the side of Downpour, but they're trying to pop that Rainmaker. They want to get their members back in there with just 5 seconds left. Jelly Squids able to take out the ballpoint and the shot, and that's going to be game for Jelly Squids.
Oh man, Mark made some plays that game. They basically, Downpour just kind of rushed that and sent 2 people going in a straight line, and the Splatling just able to do so much damage, just laser them both down and just put an end to that game. Great job by Jelly Squids, take game 1.
Great game by them. Great defense and offense, and we saw at the end there how the Splatling was able to take out the Rainmaker. The Rainmaker just a tiny bit overextended more than the teammates on Downpour, and they were able to get picked off by that Splatling, which really helped them. And the second they went 2 down, Jelly Squids moved back in, and that's going to be really great for them. Going into the set 1-0 over Downpour, going into Clamblitz Inkling next.
Yeah, and so if you're Downpour looking at this game, again, it's just a little hard when you have just all those AoE weapons, very, very aggressive Tri-Slosher and Octobrush just running at you. You gotta try to get those picks, get more than just a trade, because if you can get those picks cleanly, you gotta rush your whole team forward to take out the heavy Splatling, because they are just kind of sitting back, providing jumps, getting those Krakens, which, especially on Rainmaker, Kraken can just be a huge problem for your push. At the very least, if not kill the Rainmaker, then certainly delay things, as we saw early on in that game. It was basically the heavy Splatling all alone, but the Kraken was able to delay the push and temporarily stop Downpour from getting that first checkpoint. So in this map, again, just try to get those fights a little more cleanly, just call out where these guys are popping up from and just try to space them out and see what you can do there.
Going into this next game, I think even this game, as we were talking about before, Downpour, a newer team, as Jelly Squids is a more veteran team that's been around since Splatoon 2, and Clamblitz just requires as much coordination as Rainmaker. So Downpour, they've played a few matches today, they're warmed up, and they're getting into the groove. So I think if they could just play their cards right, they can take game 2 and lead Jelly Squids into a game 3 on Splatoon's Mako Mart. But Jelly Squids, as long as they can keep up that coordination and they can just make sure they have enough plans for their pushes, it's gonna look in their favor.
Yeah, gonna be very curious to see here. how teams are able to manage that clam economy. It's not a super huge map, so you can get some sustained pushes if you are able to just keep the clam supply fresh once the initial score is made. We do see some changes in the comp here, actually a lot of changes. We see on the side of Jelly Squids now the Neo Splash coming out, and then on the side of Downpour we're going to see the Nautilus for the first time as well as the Sloshing Machine.
So really aggressive weapons on both sides. I think Jelly Squids just wants to be a little bit more aggressive with that Neo Splash, using those Tri-Strikes to their advantage as the zap on the side of Downpour goes down there. And that's a Jelly.
Jelly's doing his thing here as Jelly Squids. Jelly's probably cheering on Jelly Squids right now, and Jelly Squids does have the advantage early on. They have full control of mid, 11 clams in their name. Gonna get set up on this left side. Entire team just stacked up on this left side as we see the pretty portrait being made. But the rain comboed with the Fizzy is gonna take out one member on the side of Jelly Squids, and now Icy gonna keep it going. As now it is gonna be Downpour taking control of mid here and getting not quite a ball quite yet, but the specials are ready to maybe make something happen.
We see Gabe taking this position with that knot there, trying to just try to get them out of the way there with Jelly Squids. You can see them cheering them on all the way from the top of the building of Inkling Art Academy. Downpour is 2 down there, and we see Jelly Squids moving back up here. The Octopus going really offensive with that Zipcaster. They want to take out that shot, and they want to take out this knot, but they do get overrun. But they do get a pick there, and Jelly Squids throwing in the first Super Clam to start off their push.
It seems a little rigged right now. Every time we cut to the jellyfish, Jelly Squids just kind of has a momentum turn in their favor. And right there, decent little push set off, you know, not anything crazy, but it's a lead nonetheless, as now we have the Jelly just chilling, not painting. We see here the Octobrush on the flank, gonna try to get after this Nautilus. They will get that pick, all the way pushed up, but the team doesn't really have any clams to push right away.
We see Jelly Squids taking a really offensive approach on their plat there. Tri-Strikes coming in there. They want to get that clam in the basket, but Downpour doing a good job getting the pick off of the Octobrush, and that's going to be huge. 2 down the side of Jelly Squids, and Downpour is going to want to rush into mid now that they're 3 down there. But the Tri-Slosher flank sharking, that's the word I'm looking for. Taking out
it's a triple.
That's the triple there. And that's going to really stop Downpour for a little bit and give Jelly Squids all of mid.
That was a huge play. You know, it's when you think like, oh man, they're 3 down, we can just run to basket and your ball carrier goes down. That stinks, but then when 2 more go down right after it, that really, really stinks. So Jelly, huge play on their side here. And now it looks like they're going to be able to get off the counter pushes. They already have 17 clams. We see the Kraken ready. All the rush does go down, but they are able to open up this basket and pop the Kraken. Able to clear out some space now on the plat.
And now down into the 50s, 3 down on the side of Downpour. This is looking really good for Jelly Squids here. Getting another pick off of Gabe, as we do see NATO taking these offensive plays. They've been able to get the picks that the Jelly Squids needs to really move in here. And we see they do get taken out there by that knot. So Downpour definitely, they want to be more aggressive now. They have almost a minute and a half remaining. And now they just want to try to be as aggressive as possible, taking out that Tri-Slosher, trying to go in for that Octobrush, and the rest of the players that are just kind of stacked up on right. They want to make sure they're not next to each other to get those accidental doubles. And we see how good Jelly Squids has been doing at defense, but now it looks like Downpour has taken mid for themselves.
Yeah, I want to see this Nautilus Gabe throw out a few more point sensors. Looks like they threw one out there and it was able to lead to a kill. You know, when you have a team that's sharking as much as Jelly Squids, any information you can glean is going to be great for your entire team. Looks like one player is going to try to go in with the ball, but they are going to get taken out. Let's see, they're going to give up on trying to save that, as going to just have to be content with holding mid for now. The rain is out on the flat, but they're not quite able to follow up with whether there's a push. They finally do get 18 clams, so the Zipcaster is going to get taken out. This is an opportunity again. If they can just survive these Tri-Strikes here, you are going to get a trade-off here. So now 2v2 situation. Mark here just holding the clam while also having a Kraken. This is suddenly a scary situation if you're down Squids, but the Inkzuka going to get a nice kill there.
And that's going to be huge for Downpour. They have that Booyah Bomb. They want to open up as much space as possible, and they want to get whatever picks that they can here. Whatever picks that can help them push there. We do see the try going down there. They're not going down there.
Oh, you see a flank on the top left.
They do see a flank there, but one of them gets taken out, and 2 down on the side of Downpour. And we do see reducing the shot, trying to do whatever they can to stay on that plat. They're taking out the Tri-Slasher, but the Splat Lane staying on top there with 10 seconds left. It looks like we're going to be going to an overtime here.
They still don't need much, but that Kraken's going to make it a problem for them. Especially now the Kraken's just diving straight at the ball carrier. They're going to have to flee, not really going to be able to focus on scoring now when they have the Kraken chasing them down. That's going to finally end. But in the meantime, looks like all the control in the plat is for Jelly Squids. Well, the Zuka's got something to say about it, getting a double, but they have to hurry now. They don't have much time. The overtime is going to run out pretty soon. They need to get this ball in. It's the only clam they have. Can they get it in? No, they're going to get taken out. And Jelly Squid is going to hang on and get the win.
And that's going to be really good for Jelly Squids 2-0 over Downpour. We saw how aggressive that Octobrush was, especially during the end. They got that pick there on the plat that really, really helped them out. Downpour, they're a little bit antsy, just trying to get whatever picks that they can, and it just didn't work out there. Jelly Squids was able to just pick them off perfectly and take that next game. They had that offense that they needed, and they had great defense, and that's what really allowed them to take the win there.
Yeah, the longevity kind of won out there. If I had to guess, to be a fly in the wall down towards VC, I'm just wondering how aware they were of their ladder shot taking the rail and getting that flank on the top left. I don't think anybody on Jelly Squids really knew they were there. They were just kind of fighting in mid, and they were able to take out at least one person on Downpour who was carrying a ball. I think if Downpour kind of coordinated that a little better, they may have been able to set up some super jumps if the ball carriers played a little more safer while they knew that flank was underway. But even still, that shot was able to get 2 picks up there, so kind of even had a second chance to clear things out, but the team just didn't have the resources at the time to follow up with it. So these kind of things, they happen your first week with the team, your first month with the team, hey, first year with the team sometimes, just ironing out that communication. And I think Downpour, they're just going to get stronger as time goes on, but decent showing here for sure for Jelly Squids.
Yeah, really good for them. We saw how well, especially I like their defense during Clan Blitz. They took such good positions that the Octobrush was able to move in and just jump on to the members of Downpour, get a double, get taken out, but it was perfect for them because that forced Downpour into a 2v3, and they just can't push that. And you're better off, even if you're a couple down on defense, you'll be fine with attacking and going in on Splatstone's Mako Mart. I think the defense from Jelly Squids is going to be really good here, but I think they're going to switch up their weapons a little bit. And no, I believe they said the same there. Try to keeping up the paint is really what they need here, and the same around coming up from Downpour with the ballpoint in Zap.
I would not be too thrilled to face an Octobrush and a Tri-Slasher on this map. Just tons of these short ledges they're able to pick off, but it's going to be Downpour that gets the first pick on Jelly Squids. Actually, 2 go down, so it looks like 3, and then it should be an easy zone cap here as Diamond's going to get chased down. So just like that, momentum on the side of Downpour. Let's see how they set up on defense.
And we see they're taking these really defensive positions. We see Gabe really strong on that ballpoint, making sure nobody gets in their way there. And we see the members of Jelly Squids are really just stuck on their platform here. The coolest out there, and that's going to be really good for Downpour, but they're 2 down there, and the Zipcaster coming in there, taking down the Inkgen. That's a wipe, a really fast wipe on Downpour's side, and Jelly Squids instantly capping that zone in their favor.
Yeah, it just seemed like Jelly Squids they all committed to diving at the same time, immediately got those 2 kills on right, and then before Downpour could even realize what was happening, the Zipcaster was already headed straight towards the backline on the side of Downpour. They're going to try to get back in here with the Booyah. It's going to neutralize the zone for now, but here comes the Kraken, ready to contest it.
Just right away, we were able to get down to 61, but now Jelly Squids taking these really offensive positions. They're doing a really good job of painting over there. We do see the machine going down there. They're all just trapped right there. The Zap going down there. And with times taking Downpour, is slowly running out of time, but with these picks coming in there, they do have a chance to move back in.
Yeah, they have the Booyah, they have the Zuka, they have 2 down on the side of Jelly Squids. This is an opportunity. I don't want to see the machine go down there, but they do. The Octobrush is going to get 1. They are going to get 2. It's a huge, so now it's really just the shot is going to have to try to paint the zone along with the ballpoint. Do they realize all the heavies right there, Sharking that getting the kill, and Jelly Squid's going to run away with the set, the 3-0. They just improved as the set went on. Great job on their part, and yeah, they're taking the win.
And that's going to be great for Jelly Squids going into this 3-0 over Downpour. Great set. We saw how well Jelly Squids was doing on that defense, and we know they've been together for such a long time, so that defense, they know how they play together, and it was really great for them going into that last game. They were able to take good positioning, and we saw how well that Octobrush was able to take out the Inkjet with the Zipcaster, which really just allowed Jelly Squids to push in there, wipe them out, and instantly cap the zone in their favor, and they just keep that zone for the rest of the game.
Yeah, again, just the coordination on their part of just, on that retake, they all just committed to that right side, got the 2 kills they needed, and they instantly pivoted over to the left side to complete the wipe. Again, these are just, the kind of things that when you are more familiar with the team, you're able to just get on that same page, and then this game just moves so fast, so if you are able to get multiple people doing the same thing, committing the same target, it really is an unstoppable force.
And now it's going to be a great set from Jelly Squids going 3-0 for Downpour, but I believe that is going to be it from this round, and I think we're going to take a little bit of a break as we wait for round 3.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Swimmer Sync 118. My name is Greg, I'm joined here by Matt, and we are getting set for round 3, our final round of Nessie's pools. And Matt, what teams do we have on the slate now?
We have Lunar, Phoenix versus Surf and Turf. And I think even more veteran teams appearing in this SOS. Surf and Turf's been around for a while, but I haven't actually seen Lunar Phoenix.
Yeah, Lunar Phoenix, I think maybe a little bit on the kind of newer side of things, but some players that have been around for a while. Ready to see what they can do here, as we're going to go right to, looks like not back to Undertow Spillway Rainmaker, right? Possibly. We'll see. We'll see when the game loads up, but I know we started the last pool there. Either way, we're going to get into this round, so we're excited to see what these teams can do.
I believe it is Tower Control Haggle. That's the map.
Okay.
Tower Control Haggle, Rainmaker, Manta, Inkling with Barnacle.
Yeah, so Surf and Turf currently 2-0 in the group play, so they're hoping to punch their ticket to our Great White bracket. Lunar Phoenix 1-1 so far, so they're looking to play a little spoiler here.
We're going into this again, but this is a more again a veteran team versus a newer team coming in here. Lunar Phoenix being that newer team in Surf and Turf, they've been around since Splatoon 2. So going into this set, I think we're going to see a big coordination difference between these two teams, and we know how much coordination is needed for these Splatoon matches. So tower control on Rainmaker and on Squids, all three of these, even Splat Zones, they require a lot of coordination. So as long as they can play their cards right, they can take these games.
Yeah, and you see that coordination, everybody rocking the Surf and Turf tag. Ready to get into this, as we see a gonna have to deal with an E-Leader, Wiper 52, and Bucket combo. Looks like they are bringing out the Range Blaster, which I'm not gonna see that often paired with the Machine, Tweezer, and Splattershot. So very, very aggressive comp coming out on the side of Surf and Turf.
Going in right away, 2 down on the side of Lunar Phoenix, and that's going to give Surf and Turf the chance to push in here. We do see that's a complete wipe in the first 20 seconds, and Surf and Turf is going to ride their way to that first checkpoint really fast, and all of them are taking these really aggressive positions, so Lunar Phoenix really has to play some good defense if they want to get them off this tower.
Yeah, it looks like it was Lunar Phoenix that went for a flank right away, but kind of the problem with that is there's no paint on the map, so very easy to kind of spot somebody who's just going in a straight line right out of spawn. That is going to cost them the first checkpoint, but yeah, it looks like the defense is standing up so far. They are able to get the tower stalled for at least the moment. 2 down on the side of Surf and Turf, as Paulo's going to push up here into the enemy side, but going to get taken out by that Range Blaster.
And that's going to be really good there, Gudra, getting those great picks there. We do see that leader on the side of Lunar Phoenix trying to get whatever picks that they can here. 2 specials on the line for them. So Surf and Turf does have to play some, play some defense here. But we do see that Blaster is on a little bit of a flank here. But and it looks like they do get a pick there. And we do see the E-Leader getting taken out there. The shot right in our faces, and Surf and Turf is pushing far into their base. With their 2 down, they are going to be pushing in for that second checkpoint very shortly.
Yeah, Surf and Turf just kind of held mid, waited for some picks, and then once the protection was gone for the leader, they finally said, now's our chance, Magnus, let's pop that Zuka and get the E-Leader out of there. But not able to even really reach the second checkpoint yet, but they are still in control. They have 2 down, and now that's going to be 3 down. Just the E-Leader to deal with is finally able to get on that tower as they see if they can break that
teleports. And we see trying to get whatever picks that they can on that Wiper there. The Blue Bomb coming in here, and it looks like they are barely going to get past that second checkpoint, but they're 2 down. So Lunar Phoenix, they have a chance here to move in here. They want to get as much control as possible. Lunar, and we see how Surf and Turf has just been doing these really aggressive plays here. And we do see that well coming in from Lunar Phoenix, and Surf and Turf has just been really strong lately, just getting these great picks there and taking map control, but this is Lunar Phoenix's chance to make a comeback.
Yeah, that was some clutch defense there. I thought that tower and that spot on the map was a great situation for the Range Blast, where they were just able to clear the second checkpoint and get nothing else. Nice pick coming out on the side from Min, but 2 down on their team, and now this jump is going to be in danger here. The Range Blaster camp, and not with the Wiper chasing them down. The Wiper is going to be able to protect that jump, and Let's see again, Surf and Turf just kind of regrouping. Let's see if Lunar Phoenix can kind of push in the mid. They are going to push in with that splat wall, but then one does go down. The Viper's going to try to shred the Booyah. They're not able to, but they will get the kill after the Booyah goes out. And now finally, Lunar Phoenix is able to get their first push of the set.
Yep, they're pushing in here, but their leader goes down, so that's going to be really risky, as we do see
Oh,
Kudra on the
flank.
flank! Getting another pick, that's going to be huge for them. Lunar Phoenix, now they have to, they're getting forced to jump out here. They take out the blaster, but their push just gets cancelled here. The Gal gets taken out there, and Surf and Turf. We're seeing the Gal's actually on another flank into Lunar Phoenix's base, and they really have to deal with it. They really have to deal with this blaster. Surf and Turf really making these aggressive plays.
Yeah, this range blaster is a problem right now for Lunar Phoenix. Again, now Zuka looks like that was at least one, if not a double. And now, oh, I just realized that Surf and Turf is playing with two Zukas. That's just extra pressure for the leader to deal with. There's just so much happening right now. And the Booyah Bomb's going to come out and clear the space. And you see, that's where everybody on Lunar Phoenix was. They're all going to have to back up here. And again, the checkpoint is not going to get broken quite yet, as the Stamp is able to take out Tower. But again, this range blaster in an annoying position finally just gets dove on and get the kill. Nice play there by Minty Fox, getting a double, going to try to chase down this last member, but they're going to retreat. Really nice job just diving on that range and then getting another kill to stop the push. And now they do have a chance here to get some offense going, but they have to be aware here in the final 30 seconds of this game. They are going to have to deal with, again, two Zukas and a Booyah Bomb, which can be GG specials.
And they see they're pushing in here. They got the Wave Breaker pop, and now they're pushing in for that first checkpoint here. We see the machine trying to throw that leader off tower, not letting them clear checkpoints. Going to be really good here. With the Gal going down there, the Blaster going down there, down to a 3v3. They're pushing in here, the hammer throw, and we do see two of them on the tower. And Surfing Turf, if they can just get these picks, they can try to push in here. There goes the Zuka and the Booyah, and that's going to completely wipe them out there, and that is going to be game with a wipeout to end it off, with Surf and Turf taking the win.
Oh man. Lunar Phoenix finally showed some life there towards the end, but just not much you can do when you're dug that deep in a hole and you're facing, again, just a Booyah Bomb on tower control. Things have to really go right for you to pull off that comeback. Just weren't quite able to do it. Surf and Turf able to hang on and get the job done, taking game one.
That's going to be really good for Surf and Turf going in here. For Rainmaker Manta up next, I think this is going to be an interesting map to see these two teams play on. We've seen how well Surf and Turf has been doing on the aggressive plays. So and I really want to see how Lunar Phoenix does on these aggressive plays, because Surf and Turf, they have some pretty good defense, but using that Rainmaker, I think Lunar Phoenix can break it just enough to take the lead and get that point.
Yeah, I'm curious if Min is gonna stay with the leader here or opt for something a little more aggressive. I feel like the angles, at least for Tower, or at least for Rainmaker on this map, not quite as favorable for the leader, because so much of that, the crucial points, the checkpoint, everything is happening in your street, which just has a lot of cover. So maybe opt for a different kind of backline weapon, something a little more aggressive might be the play here. Or, you know, if they're feeling confident in that leader, might just stick with it. But I'm curious to see if there are any comp changes coming out on the side of Lunar Phoenix.
They could change it up, go for a little bit more aggressive. They don't exactly want to match Surf and Turf's aggression, but it has to be enough to counter it. So if they can just play their cards right, I mean, if they see Surf and Turf as being way more aggressive, they could just go for more passive plays, you know, go for the special coordination, get those doubles with those specials, whatever they can use. And I feel like they're going to switch off leader here, but you never know, they could bring the leader back, but I feel like they're going to be changing weapons up a little bit.
Yeah, Surf and Turf just swapping out the Squeezer for yet another shot. And we do see the backline change here. Going to go for the Rapid Pro Deco. And so double Killer Whale coming out on the side of Lunar Phoenix. Let's see if that's able to kind of help them find some opponents and do some damage and get a nice run off here. But one is going to go down right away.
Yeah, right away we do see the Viper going down there, the Blaster getting taken out there, the Rapid going down there, and another pick, and that's going to be 3 down on the side of Lunar Phoenix, and it's just that Gal remaining. They're trying to get that Rainmaker, but it's just, it looks like they are able to clear that checkpoint before being taken out there, and we do see Tart on that Viper, they get taken out there, and that's going to be really huge for them. Surf and Turf really aggressive, 2 down again. And they are pushing in to try getting another pick there, but the shot finishing him off. Just that Rapid there, and the Rapid gets taken out there, and that's going to be huge for Surf and Turf.
And Surf and Turf just plays like the whole team has opening gambit. They just are so aggressive right out the gate, and it works for them. They're just getting these kills early on and just getting the pressure right away as they're going to pop this Rainmaker and get some push more. Let's see if Paulo can make a stop here. They will with the Tri-Slosher. And can they chase down the rest? They have somebody on their grates, but they will get taken out. So now the last member of Surf and Turf is going to go back and give some jumps. The Range Blast, we see already jumping in. Let's see if Lunar Phoenix can kind of pop this and get moving.
We see them just throwing those fizzes, popping out, popping the whale, just trying to get whatever picks that they can here. Try to open up mid for Lunar Phoenix and get that map control. But would you see the Rainmaker? They do pick it up there, and they're going right for that lead there. But they do get taken out just in time there. They're not exactly going to KO, but that is a huge difference of points for Surf and Turf. And now Lunar Phoenix is almost basically going to have to KO if they want to win this.
Yeah, 20 is definitely a push you can overcome, but when they get down to 4 and you know you're going to have to touch that podium, makes it just that much harder for them. And they haven't even got a chance to touch the Rainmaker yet. They're still trying to fight for mid here. Rainmaker is going to finally reset. Get in mid, but mid is just totally in control of Surf and Turf right now.
They have that Rainmaker in possession. They essentially don't even have to grab it right now. Want to play defense here. They want to get these picks. Just try to stall out time there. They're thinking if Lunar Phoenix picks up the Rainmaker in the last minute, that's great for Surf and Turf, because they still have to clear that checkpoint, but they're actually just pushing the Rainmaker even further. Maybe they just want to get that Rainmaker in their base and just try to get it more in their base so they can have a bit more to push, if that makes sense there. We do see Steven getting taken out by Minty Fox there as the whale's being popped there. They want to get these picks here. 2 down on the side of Surf and Turf. And Lunar Phoenix, they have that Rainmaker, but we do see the flank! But Chrissy does get taken out there. And now Lunar Phoenix, they want to move back into mid. They want to get this map control, but the Blaster just going and run on their bunker, taking them out there and grabbing that Rainmaker.
This is good, just staying aggressive. Lunar Phoenix has to pop so many specials to try to just stop the KO from happening, and that's specials that they can't use to even start their own push. So Apollo trying to just shark here, is going to make a play, but it's going to get taken out with the bombs and the Rainmaker. You see they're just jumping in like crazy, but this is an opportunity. If they can take this player out, prevent some more jumps, this is a chance to pick up the Rainmaker, make a push. But no, Magnus is going to get a pick here. Can he get another? No. Finally, Tord is able to take them out. And so now this is an opportunity for Lunar Phoenix finally to pick up the Rainmaker, maybe get some points on the board. But you can see the miss is going to come out first. The Zuka going to contest, and there another pick on the side of Surf and Turf.
This Blaster is doing really good for Surf and Turf. They've been able to get these really nice plays here, and with 2 down on the side of Lunar Phoenix, we're heading into this last minute, and Lunar Phoenix hasn't even been able to push at all, so this is going to be really risky for them. Surf and Turf, in all honesty, they could just keep the Rainmaker in mid and just play out time.
Yeah, this Blaster just has all the pain in the world to swim through in mid. Finally gonna get rushed down by the 52. Like to see that. Just challenge him head on, make some moves, make some plays. They're gonna again get another one, and then the Rainmaker pop. But now all of a sudden the whole team went down.
We do see they do have 2 specials there, but the Waper going down there, they just have that Rapid on. They do have that Rapid, so they do have a chance of using that Rapid special to help them out here. But in these last 30 seconds, Surf and Turf can literally just stall them out here.
Yeah, not taking anything for granted. Gonna play as safe as possible here, and this is a very annoying spot to try to dislodge this Rainmaker from, because as much as Lunar Phoenix has had trouble taking mid, now they have to take mid and get all the way up to the plat where the Rainmaker is just spamming shots. Misty Fox gonna try to make that play, at least is able to force overtime, but there's just nobody really around. Paulo trying to rush in, is gonna take out the Range Blaster, but gonna get taken out by Magnus, and that is gonna be GG after getting a kill just to top it off.
And that is going to be huge for them going into this 2-0 over Lunar Phoenix. We saw how fast the tides changed in a matter of seconds with Surf and Turf grabbing that Rainmaker, and with them going 2 down there, that was huge for Surf and Turf, and they just stalled it out, just shot that Rainmaker everywhere into mid, and Lunar Phoenix just didn't have the chance to move in.
Yeah, Surf and Turf, both games just so aggressive right off the bat, winning those opening fights. So now, you know, Clam Blitz Barnacle, if you're Lunar Phoenix looking to get a win here, I'm kind of peeking at, you know, some of the weapons they play. It looks like they are playing with a sub that kind of changes things, but to me, I'm thinking, you know, anything to stop them from just running at us at the start. So if we can get that 52 set up, get the wall out, at least kind of slow them down just a little bit. And keep in mind, you know, Surf and Turf, they're playing with a machine and a range blaster, two weapons that like to jump a lot whenever they're, you know, fighting. So if you can get something with a splat bomb, you might be able to get some cheeky kills there by just rolling bombs at their feet. That's another option if you kind of have that in your repertoire, but this map, very lockout heavy, so got to be careful losing this first fight. I think that's what you got to prioritize at all costs. It's just they may survive the first 20 seconds and then play from there.
So going into this last match, Lunar Phoenix can take a game off of Surf and Turf. That's going to be good for them, but Surf and Turf, they've established their win, so they are good to go. And we just saw how well the Blaster was able to get those great kills and just allow Surf and Turf to move in even more. And Lunar Phoenix just barely got that chance to really try to push in there. And they forced that overtime, but it just wasn't enough to try to push in there and win that game there. Great job from the defense on Surf and Turf, and we see how strong they are as a team.
And so as we move to Barnacle and Dime, kind of a map that still, you know, the new map of the season. I think teams are still trying to figure it out, but it is just one of those maps where it feels like really, really hard to retake on defense. I feel like most of these pushes just end because the offense runs out of clams more so than there was a really clean retake, especially if somebody who is pushing your team gets in that top right area up that ramp. It can be very difficult. So we do see a couple of changes on this side. Well, for both teams. We're going to see the Dynamo Roller come out for the first time by Chrissy. And interestingly enough, we see a Squiffer come on the side of Min.
And we do see both teams rushing into... What? Oh, there's jellies over there. I was so confused. But we do
Jellies.
see already the power plant being established by Surf and Turf.
I have not been to a mall nice enough that you could swim in, but hopefully someday take a boat ride at a mall would be quite the thrill. But in the meantime, Clam Blitz is what these teams are trying to do. Is it's going to be an early advantage once again. Well, really, this time for once it was it was Lunar Phoenix getting the advantage early on, and now, you know, they are able to survive this opening onslaught from Surf and Turf. And now, I thought that hammer would get a pick, but now just kind of sharking up here, looking to gather some clams, and just slowly see they're gaining control of mid. Let's see if they can push off of this.
And we do see everything just flying in here for the side of Surf and Turf. And right now, it looks like Lunar Phoenix, they're trying to play these offensive positions, you know, getting the picks that they need here, but Surf and Turf is doing a really good job of getting them out of their base there. And we do see that Blaster taking a really offensive position on that Squiffer there, and the Tri-Strikes is coming in here, and Surf and Turf is going to be taking mid really easily.
Oh, Paulo with a pick too!
The try getting a huge double, getting taken out by that Blaster though, but that's gonna stop Surf and Turf's push for a second.
Yeah, that was a lot of clams being carried by Surf and Turf that all of a sudden just disappear with that double, so now they're not able to score right away. They do finally have a ball, but just trying to juggle some clams here, but the Wiper does go down. Whiffer does get traded out, but it'd be interesting to see here again another trade. Just trying to get this push off, but it's going to be the Tri-Slosher that has to save the day once again. The ball's just going to run right past them.
And there you have it. The basket has been broken. But we do see they're not really able to get much clam standard, but we do see that Blaster, they are able to try to get that push even further, but it doesn't look like it's going to be much here, as the Squiffer trying to get whatever picks up they can, but it's just not going to work. They have two super clams, but just not enough space to move in.
50 Fox going down. So important to try to take this right flat area. They are able to get one pick, but again, looks like Apollo's going to get taken on the Tri-Slash right now. The Squiffer's going to be in trouble. This is good positioning here by the Range Blaster. They're going to have to bail out of it for a second to take care of the 52, and they're right back in this spot. And here we see, can they get some clamps back in? They don't have any clamps to their name right now. It looks like it will be the Splash player going back, and in the meantime, when they went for that trip, the whole team got taken out. So now that is going to be a full wipe, but the damage has been done. The score down to 29.
And that's going to be really huge for Surf and Turf. Again, you know, they're down to 29 now, which is going to be really good for them. Though Lunar Phoenix have these more defensive plays here, Dynamo goes down there, and that's going to be huge for them.
31 clamps.
They have 31 clamps. That's going to be huge for Lunar Phoenix as they're trying to push in there, but the Tri-Strike helping out there in the hammer trade and the wipeout. And that's going to be... Surf and Turf just prevented a huge push from Lunar Phoenix.
Yeah, somehow in that chaos, they were able to get one ball in, but not nearly enough as we saw the hammer duel go in the side of Surf and Turf. But as they counter push here, 2 down immediately, they're going to have to give up the space, but the Dynamo gets a nice pick on the player that was rushing in there. And so they are able to give jumps and hold mid. Now they're cooler, but the Squiffer getting another kill. They'll get traded out.
That's with just a minute left. You see Surf and Turf, they're taking these defensive positions. Though Lunar Phoenix is is slowly trying to get control of mid here. Surf and Turf has been doing a really good job of getting rid of those claims to really help them here. So in these last 50 seconds with the whale pops and the wave break out, this is going to be a bit of a harder push for Lunar Phoenix to take over, but they do have a chance in these last 40 seconds.
Yeah, now they do have 20 clamps to their name, so decent opportunity to push. Gonna push the pop the bubble here, but it's gonna get quickly erased by Strikes, and now a stamp rush in the corner, but it's gonna get taken out by the Wiper. And now so they have a stamp of their own. They're gonna have to deal with this player pushing up. They are gonna get the kill, but now they're the last one alive, going up against the Range Blaster, last player alive. So that's going to essentially end the push on defense, even if these players are able to jump in. They don't really have any clams, don't have a ball. They need to form one here before the game ends. Only 9 seconds left. You can see they're scrambling in mid, trying to make one. It looks like it's all going to the Squiffer. They do have a ball just the last second, able to get overtime here as we see this Wiper fight going in the favor of Surf and Turf.
And we do see Paulo just trying to move in here, but it's just them alive. We do see the Cooler, all of his teammates trying to jump in here. They are able to get the pick off of Chrissy, but the Blaster taking them out just in time. They're 2 down on the side of Surf and Turf.
Oh, but they're white. Can they rush in? Do they have time? No!
It's not enough time in Surf and Turf winning 3-0 over Lunar Phoenix going in, and that's going to be the end of Nessie's pool, and that's going to be a great win for Surf and Turf going into Great White.
Yeah, you could see just, again, the coordination with Surf and Turf. There was a sequence there with around a minute left in the game where it just seemed like every single time somebody on Surf and Turf went down, whoever got that splat on them got traded out immediately. Just always being aware of where your teammates are, where they're taking fights. So if your teammate doesn't win the fight, you're immediately there to finish off and get revenge for them. And that just kept happening for a long stretch of that game when Lunar Phoenix really needed something better to happen for them to get a counter push. They just weren't quite able to do it.
And that's going to be a great win for Surf and Turf and Lunar Phoenix. They put up a really great effort here, but Surf and Turf just being the stronger and more dominant team, allowing them to take all 3 of these games. And that is going to end Nessie's pool.
Yeah, once again, we would just want to remind you guys before we break, remind you once again, another tournament coming up. We mentioned it earlier, Level Up. If you're a fresh out of low level or established mid-level team looking for some more practice, sign up for Level Up. Level Up is a weekly skill cap tourney aimed at mid-level teams. The first one is being held this Friday, August 11th at 7 p.m. Eastern. So again, join that Discord at discord.io/levelup_ to sign up and get more information. It's on the Sendu calendar too, if that's easier for you. I'm not somebody that's good at remembering URLs and typing things, but you know, put your tournaments on Sendu. I can find them. Got tournaments there, so you can go there, find all the information.
And you want to see more of these lower mid-level tournaments. These are chances for teams to really improve, and I think it's going to be a really good and popular tournament in the future. So make sure you guys sign up if you're a newer team. I think it's going to be really good practice for many people.
So with that, we are going to take a breather, but stick around. We'll have our Great White bracket coming up.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Swim or Sink 118. I'm here with Greg and we are bringing you round 1 of the Great White Bracket.
Yeah, we're gonna have Velocity versus Make-A-Wish here today. Two teams that I'm a bit familiar with. Velocity, I know Bronze, a teammate of his for years. I was within Riptide 2022, the day one Splatoon 3 LAN, and when the game was hours old, he was committed to playing Tri-Stringer in our tournament set, and he's committed to that weapon pretty much ever since. You know, finally now that Custom Jet has come out, he's been moving over to that Sun 2. That was always his weapon in Splatoon 2, so he's really good at just kind of steering the ship. So Velocity, definitely a team to watch out for. Make-A-Wish, another team that we see a lot here on SOS. I ran into them yesterday in a tournament. They're a team that not afraid to pull out double splatling in terms of having a ballpoint and a Nautilus on the field at the same time. And we're just going to have to see what they can do on Splatzone's Museum to start us off.
Yeah, this is going to be a great match to watch. As you said before, that double splatling, it can be used here on Splatzone's Museum de Alfonsino. And we do see that Jet coming out from Bronze, which I've seen in the past, even in Splatoon 2. So let's see how they can use it to their advantage on here.
Yeah, and we're also going to see that kid with the ink brush, definitely a very pesky player to deal with. And speaking of pesky player, we have K down with the Tetras, going to get a trade right off the bat to start this game. And it looks like mid is going to go in favor of Make-A-Wish, as it looks like they're just getting the paint. They have the crab out and they already get the first cap, and now the Inkjet is going to come out.
We see Make-A-Wish right away getting a really dominant position. They're 2 down, and now Velocity just needs to get their specials ready. And they do have that whale out, and they do have a bit of a zone can painted, and it looks like they're going to be capping it and taking control. With 2 down on the side of Make-A-Wish, they're forced to fight in that corner there. And it looks like the Tetris is going down there, and Velocity is going to make a really huge push here. But already right there, we do see the ballpoint taking the pick off of the shot, and it looks like Make-A-Wish is capping that zone and just trying to paint over it.
Oh yeah, but there's the brush just being sneaky as ever, able to take out the ballpoint now, and using really the whale not only to do some damage, but I think just to refill their tank as they were feeling the pressure. Now the zone's just still staying neutral at the moment, finally going to flip in Velocity's favor. Let's see if they can flip the lead over to their side.
And now they have a really good control of the zone there. There goes their penalty. The crab's out there trying to get whatever picks that they can. There comes that Inkjet as well from the side of Make-A-Wish. They lose the lead, but they are pushing in, and they're going to be capping this zone right away. And they're really fast. They're going to be capping that lead. And now their penalty is ticking away for the side of Make-A-Wish. And 2 down on the side of Velocity, so they're going to need to regroup and get some specials if they want to take this zone.
Yeah, let's see. Bronze is staying on the plat, trying to ward off anybody from retaking it. And it looks like the crab's going to come out. It looks like somebody did sneak up on the plat, and they are going to get taken out though. So it looks like it's going to be that kid pushing in now, going for the flank here on the zone. They will get the cap, and now just going to back off as they could feel the pressure was on.
And now we see Velocity. Their timer is ticking away. Make-A-Wish was able to get down to 45, but they have a pretty good lockout right now. But as I say that, the Jet coming in here really strong. They're trying to get whatever picks that they can, as they do see that Tetris on that left flank. The Brush trying to take them out here. They are able to take them out, but 2 down on the side of Make-A-Wish. Velocity taking that lead with 3 down. That's going to be huge for them, but they go 1 down, and they're going to be capping that zone.
Yeah, have to be careful here if you're Make-A-Wish. Let your teammates get back in. Looks like they will do exactly that. The ballpoint setting up jumps, so they aren't able quite to get the zone yet. The Inkjet's gonna come out, but this Tetra's dealing with the fight on the left, ballpoint dealing with the fight on the right. They're pretty split up right now, and meanwhile the zone just keeps on ticketing for Velocity, and more members are gonna go down on Make-A-Wish, so Velocity's really gonna look like they're gonna run away with this game. Just a few more ticks to finish it, and it's gonna be Velocity taking game 1.
Really fast game to start off. Velocity taking that KO win over Make-A-Wish. They were able to push back with really good pressure there, and that's going to really allow them to take the first win into the set, which is going to be really good for them. But Make-A-Wish, we saw how well they were pushing in there, so let's see how well they can do for next game.
Yeah, a little bit of an unconventional game for Museum. Both teams staying very disciplined, neither team fully wiping, so wasn't a whole lot of play being done on either side's plat. It really was just fights in mid the whole time, but Velocity just, you know, a lot of just, I think, superior paint for them. They were able to just have Reigns going across the zone, and that can just kind of be the difference on a zone like that, which is, this zone seems really hard to flip. You know, just from playing it myself, it seems like a lot of times where you just think like, come on, we can get this cap, we have so much of the zone painted, how can we not flip this? And sometimes just as something as simple as, you know, a ring going across the zone is what ends up giving you the win in the end.
So going for game 2, Velocity, I feel like if they can really keep up the same amount of pressure that they had last game, they can do really good here. And Make-A-Wish, we saw how strong they were, and we saw their defense. So I think going into this next game, I think it's going to be a really close game 2 to start off. And now that this is best of 3, right now Make-A-Wish is, you know, the pressure's on for them. If Velocity takes this, it's over for them.
Yeah, very curious to see what kind of havoc the Ink Brush can wreak here on Mako Mart. A little bit of a strange map for tower control as far as like when you think of like flanks for a weapon like a brush. You know, really the defensive area is pretty fortified, but you know, if they do want to take the route pushing all the way from the left side and kind of wrapping around spawn, they can maybe catch some people off guard that way.
I think going to the next game, and as you can see, right as I say that, we're loading in their tower control on Mako Mart. Let's see what these teams have. We do see that Tri-Stringer and Brush coming out, and we do see that Rapid on the side of Make-A-Wish. So let's see what these teams can bring on the table. A little bit more unique comps. You know, you don't really see Brush and Tri-Stringer a lot around these higher level tournament sets, but I'm really excited to see how they can use it if they can really win this match here.
Yeah, Make-A-Wish ditching the ballpoint, going instead for the Rapid Pro Deco. I'm wondering if maybe the line markers, maybe a response to the brush, or, you know, just having that whale able to locate them that way, or just doing that chip damage. But instead, it's going to be Splatak getting the pick right away, and it's going to be opening push going to Velocity here, but you're going to have to back off here as the specials come out. It looks like they are dealing with the flank, and that's going to allow Make-A-Wish to retake mid.
That's going to be really fast for them. When they were 2 down on the side of Velocity, Make-A-Wish really used that to their advantage here. The Tri-Stringer just trying to kind of distance the members of Make-A-Wish. We see those Tri-Strikes coming in there, trying to stop that tower there. The Brush coming in here to get the pick off of that, and that's going to be huge there. They don't pass that checkpoint, but they were able to get past half of it, which is going to be good point-wise, but they want to go further on the next push here, but they need to be careful. They're 1 down right now, down to a 3v3 now, and they're just trying to be as aggressive as possible.
Yeah, trying to take out Bronze here, but Bronze, very, very savvy player, you know, very used to repositioning whenever he's in the middle of Stingray, so very good at just kind of staying alive on those back lines. Really hard to take him out, but he's able to provide just so much paint support and jumps for his team, and that's going to pay off now as they are going to push in. The Crab threatened a little bit there by the Zuka, but not going to get taken out. It looks like both specials are just kind of get nothing done at the moment. And there we see that kid, kind of what I said on the left, going for that flank. So now somebody's going to have to deal with that. 2 of them are going to team up to take him out. But there are 2 down on the side of Make-A-Wish, so they all got pulled over to that right side to deal with the brush, and that's allowed the tower to get to the first checkpoint now. Bronze again just kind of dodges these bombs here and contesting this plat. Gonna have to be weak to that Rapid, back up a little bit. They will clear the first checkpoint.
The Crab just flew. I don't know if anyone saw that, but the Crab just flew from the suction bomb. But they are able to get past that checkpoint, which is going to be great for them. The Rapid going down the side of Make-A-Wish. There comes that whale, but it looks like Make-A-Wish doing a great job of keeping them out, making sure not too much, they didn't get too much of a big lead.
Yeah, and again, now looks like they're going back for that push all the way. The T-Tech finally gets taken out, but gonna get assisted there by Sam with the Crab Tank, and now just searching for any final members of Make-A-Wish. It's gonna be a little hard to take that now with the Rapid and the Nautilus set up where they are, but here comes the Killer Whale trying to clear out some of those members. Gonna be crossing them up on there, and there's Bronze pushing the damage, and now, again, gonna clear them out now with the Tri-Strikes. This is an opportunity to get some points here for your Velocity.
And they're pushing into the T-Pig, not able to clear the checkpoint. Make-A-Wish able to stop them just in time, just so that Brush remaining just sitting in their base there. But they are able to get that pick, and they are able to get a double. That's going to be huge for Velocity. And another pick from the Brush. Huge plays going on here.
He's looking for the fourth, trying to find it, seeking him out with the whale, but just gonna back off. So gonna have to settle for just a triple, and Make-A-Wish is gonna have to settle for again trying to defend the second checkpoint. They are able to retake their stack here, but the Tri-Strike's gonna push them back. In the meantime, looks like Tower is left alone for now, so the defense is able to at least stop this push.
Enough to stop it, but do they have enough aggression to take this lead is the question. We see this Tri-Stringer trying to go whatever picks that they can here. Down to a minute 15 remaining. If they do get the pick with that whale, and they're doing really good. That Brush getting another pick on that zap, and Velocity is just taking the tower as far as possible. And that's gonna be really good for them as as Make-A-Wish still has to get past that first checkpoint if they want a chance to take lead.
Yeah, Bronze just had a player jumping to him, threw out the Toxic Mist, threw out the Killer Whale, and then just said, bye, you deal with this, and ended up getting the kill on the retreat. But now his position in mid trying to take these fights. It looks like the T-Tech is going to get this pick right now. And again, just there has not been a lot of offense for Make-A-Wish. They've been stuck playing defense for most of this game here. And now the Crab and the Ink Strike coming on the flat. It looks like Velocity is finally going to get a chance to contest this checkpoint, but it looks like the Rapid did go down. Pretty much all the people that are best at contesting tower in the situation are down. That's going to allow Velocity to clear this checkpoint.
And now they're going into that third checkpoint. The points really matter now in these last 15 seconds. The whale coming out there. The members of Make-A-Wish trying desperately, but the double coming in there. The Tri-Strike coming in from Velocity. This is looking really promising for them. Make-A-Wish is having to play defense all this game. Isn't going to help them out that much.
They are going to grab tower. They are going to get a chance at overtime here, but the T-Tech and now the Brush, and the Brush is going to get on tower, and that goes to Velocity. Is going to take the set and move on to top 8 of our Great White Bracket.
Some great offensive plays from Velocity. And that's really going to allow them to take that 2-0 over Make-A-Wish, going into the top 8 of Great White Bracket. But I just have to talk about that Brush for a second. That Brush just established so many good picks for the members of Velocity. So those picks were established, and the second they noticed that Velocity was able to move back in, Make-A-Wish, they really needed to watch out for that Brush, and they let their guard down for a second, and that Brush just swooped right in there.
Yeah, that kid was just a momentum destroyer that game for Make-A-Wish. Every single time that it looked like the defense was holding up and Make-A-Wish was going to get a counter push, that kid just pops up out of nowhere, gets a double, and all of a sudden we're just back to even. And then before you know, Velocity's back on the counter push again. Just like I said, Make-A-Wish just didn't get a chance to play offense that game at all. Velocity just always kept the pressure on them.
And that's going to conclude Great White Round 1, and I think that is it for us. So I think with that being said, that's going to be the last time we're going to be commentating. So Greg, where can they find you?
I'm on Twitter, or I guess X now, at What Is It Greg? You can find me on Twitch at Gregory Live. Matt, where can people find you?
Find me anywhere at Matthew Mega. I'm always around. I'm commentating a lot more tournaments in the future, so stay on the lookout for that. And with that being said, that is our time up with Swimmer Sync. We're going to be moving to another amazing commentary duo. So let's take our lead. Bye, everyone.
See ya.
Welcome back everyone to Swim or Sink number 118. I am Lily Gravy Bread, you can call me Lily, and I am here with Rice, whom we like very much. Hello there, Rice, how are you feeling today?
Hello everyone, and thank you for the introduction, Lily. I'm doing great, how about you?
I'm excited especially to see this next set between Pony Strikes and Frostbite, two teams that I've been enjoying keeping an eye on ever since Pony Strikes has when I believe there were the Ink Strikers, one low ink months back, and Frostbite also a very solid team to play against as well. So I'm excited to see what they bring to the table here. What are you looking forward to about this set, Rice?
I think the set's gonna go back and forth, I believe, because I think both teams have a strong charger slash backline player, so we're probably gonna see either like maybe a E-leader duel or like both going to ball point, whether they prefer on specific maps.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing the ball point or the E-leader duel. Actually, that would be fun to watch. I know that ball point has been very much a staple of the current meta, but E-leader, I feel like I've been seeing more E-leader plays, or E-leader's discussion at least, in the community. So with the players as strong as the ones that we will be seeing here, it'll definitely be great to see some really great backlines especially. So that's something to look out for. It looks like I think the first match is going to be Clam Blitz, which is I feel like I always say this, but Clam Blitz is always like one of my favorite modes of all time. We're actually gonna have a look at the roster, the player roster at the moment on each team. So looks like on the side of Pony Strikes, Trisky, Zaska, I believe, Datsu, Marky, Mitch is gonna be great to watch. And on Frostbite, X-Ray, Sungura, there's that amazing backline that I'm looking forward to, especially Safra, Little Gay Boy 5, and Reborn. All wonderful players. I can't wait to see what they bring to the table here.
Yeah, Clam Blitz, Barnacle, and Dime has definitely been a map mode being played more often, and I think that's because I think the control of I'd say like the left side while you're pushing, that's always a key thing to make sure while you're pushing, and then while you're defending, just being able to clear out that side as well is very important.
Yeah, absolutely. It is really important, and I do believe Clam Blitz and Barnacle and Dimes, probably for me, I think one of the more even Clam Blitz maps. There are definitely some I feel that either like go by far too quickly or take too long to start a really like successful push in. But even here on Barnacle Dime, having a bit of back and forth I think is something that I tend to see quite a bit, at least a little bit more commonly here. We're also going to be seeing Flounder Heights on Splat Zones, which is an interesting, sometimes I believe some people may even consider it controversial choice. And if we get to a game 3, Tower Control, Inkling Art Academy, probably one of the most solid choices that we'll ever see in, or at least one of the most even, or at least one of the most like, Inkling Art Academy, Tower Control map modes that we'll be seeing in any competitive Splatoon map pool. One of the most staples, if I can describe it like that. One of these staples, of course. But yeah, Clam Blitz, Barnacle, and Dime. You were mentioning actually the strong backline players. What kind of things would you kind of expect to see backlines be doing, especially here on Barnacle and Dime? Because I know that on Flounder Heights Splat Zones, it can definitely be a little bit tricky getting into exactly the right position in order to be fully effective when you're trying to get back to the middle of the map there. But on Clam Blitz, Barnacle, and Dime, what sort of things are you expecting to do?
Yeah, I definitely think a lot of them are going to be perched up on that great side, maybe hiding behind that wall on their stacks, but I believe we're getting into the game right now.
Yeah, so we'll be seeing what they do bring to the table. Looks like we are seeing the bull point on the side of Pony Strikes. We're seeing a Zekafin and actually a Nautilus. This is going to be very interesting, I believe. Reborn also playing the End Zap, another staple of the current meta. So without a bull point on the other side, they are going to be playing around more with the range that you get from the Zekafin scope, which of course is a very interesting charger, I believe, in how you can get into more aggressive positions by using the Splash Wall. Using the Splash Wall even supportively as well to try and at least keep yourself and keep the other members of your team safe. It already looks like Pony Strikes has been doing what they can to get as much mid control here, Rice, but it does look like as Sungura gets forced back a little bit, they're going to be looking for a pick here especially, and also the Tri-Strikes coming out as well to try and retake mid and allow an opportunity for the rest of Frostbite to come back in, Rice.
Yeah, definitely. We see Frostbite playing a more slower and patient game, while on the side of Pony Strikers, they have that aggression to go off of with the Wiper and that machine. And we can see that they're starting to push up with those picks that they got.
Yeah, absolutely right. So with a few players down on Frostbite already, you can see how they're setting up around this top left side, trying to at least survive the pressure from that bucket. But we're seeing the hammer come out. Hopefully that can at least get something happening with the push. But it does look like they do lose the power clam, however, and that's the full wipeout, Rice. Frostbite's going to be coming in, taking back mid from this. It's kind of unfortunate that they missed out on being able to score that power clam, though.
Yeah, Frostbite doing an amazing job holding defense. They knew that they needed to wait for all 4 members to come back, and they played very slowly into that push. But now we see the counter push on the side of Frostbite, and they have 2 power clams up, and this might be their opportunity to score.
Yeah, it may very well be. We are seeing Frostbite here. They've set up a really nice line of at least attack here, which is going to be trying to hold back Pony Strikes from being able to push in. We can see this mad scramble here trying to get a hold of the control around this clam basket, because they do manage to get that power clam, and 1 player has gone down on either side. However, 2 players down on Frostbite. It looks like Pony Strikes might be able to prevent this push from being held for any longer, with only a score of those 20 points from that power clam going into the basket. Here we're seeing the crab come out on the side of Pony Strikes. Rice, do we reckon they're going to be coming back in, retaking mid from this?
I believe they will. I think they can push up to that top left side, and as they go towards that left side, they need to be careful of this Slosher and the Nautilus.
Yeah, definitely. We did see the hammer being, the Ultra Stamp actually being set up on that top left side, but unfortunately they did get taken out fairly quickly. Perhaps not the most effective hammer once again. It was kind of unfortunate, I feel like, seeing that hammer go down, I think, twice in this game so far. But we did see the Booyah Bomb and the pressure from the Inkjet coming out. We're seeing that change as well once again with the pretty aggressive Crab Tank here, just trying to make sure they have this whole area around the front clear for Pony Strikes to be able to move in. But I feel like they're having a little bit of trouble trying to hold this area, as Frostbite is playing a really impressive defense here, guys.
Yeah, Frostbite playing that slower game, like, as their comp is favored too, but actually they go 3 down and it's just the charger, but they get a really clean snipe.
Yeah, that's Sungura getting that snipe down. Unfortunately, that didn't stop those 3. Oh my goodness, those power clams going in just like that, one after another. That was actually incredible. Push all the way down to a score of 40. We're gonna zoom out right now to see Frostbite try and take up space here. They are playing the slower game, but they may be able to come back from this if they can hold their front line. They still have to play very patiently, I guess, against Pony Strikes at the moment. But they have less than a minute left in the game, and they got to get a big lead.
Yeah, definitely. They need to score 2 power clam and 4 small ones, or they can just, same as Pony Strikers, score the 3 power clams. But it's gonna be really tough, because we see here, Pony Strikers knows they don't need to push up all the way. They can play as much defense as they can. They just need to make sure that they are not going down altogether.
Yeah, and it does look like they are staying up as much as possible, but Frostbite still has something to say about that. We can see Reborn here with the power clam trying to play off trying to get a pick. They're getting a great pick, actually clearing out that left side area. But unfortunately, going down to the ball point on Pony Strikes, unfortunately was not able to capitalize off that push. But with 3 players down on Pony Strikes, only a few seconds left in the game, if Frostbite can actually get their power clam in and control this area in front of the basket, control the squad area, and maybe able to play, get some kind of lead in overtime here, they're just going to have to hold the clam. Unfortunately, they go down. It doesn't look like things are going pretty well for Frostbite here. I think Pony Strikes might just have this, but Frostbite actually do manage to get the clam into the basket. We're seeing the strikes come out once again. If they can get any more off this, they can continue this push. It's down to 58. They're gonna try and get some more, and if they can, but Pony Strikes is pushing up ahead, looking for picks, getting one on Sangura here. It does look like 3 have gone down. We only have 2 clams, or 3 clams to be able to get into the basket in order to get this lead. If they can get it in, it's gonna be a game-changing win at the very end. But it does look like at this final second of overtime, the barrier goes back up, and Pony Strikes takes the win.
Yeah, that was a crazy push from Frostbite at the end, and the crazy push from Pony Strikers towards the middle of the game. But Pony Strikers, knowing that they have the lead, was playing a lot more patiently. They knew they could just play defense towards the end, and that's what they did to hold on to that lead.
Yeah, absolutely. I still think it was definitely impressive seeing Frostbite being able to maneuver around Pony Strikes defense at the end to be able to get so many clams in. But, you know, I didn't expect that overtime to last for so long, actually. But you know what? Just like props to them for being able to actually get that final push in, especially since they were only able to get that first power clam in early on in the game to get the score down to 80. But you know what? I believe Pony Strikes being able to play that really aggressive style, being able to push up ahead together really well, being able to play off each other's specials, being able to like chain them so well and take up the space in order to just make their power clams that they threw into the basket 3 in a row, I think is definitely not just like a fantastic pop-off moment. I'm sure someone would have taken a clip of that, but also but also like that's the kind of lead that's definitely difficult to be able to take back if you're playing that slower, more patient comp, and you only have like less than a minute left in the game to be able to really capitalize off what you can do with what you have.
Yeah, definitely. Towards the end, we just saw that Frostbite just did not have that clam economy. They had the 2 power clams, but was only able to score 1, while the other one pretty much disappeared, and they had to slowly throw in small clams 1 at a time, but they just ran out of time to score them all.
Yeah, absolutely. It can be difficult. The timing of the overtime in Clam Blitz, I feel, is always difficult because you have such a small window if you don't have a power clam to be able to move from one side of the map to the other to be able to get that in. But on top of that, there is always that constant ticking of the time. If you're not getting clams in, then, you know, that time's going to run out. It does look like, however, we will be going into the next match. Now, this is kind of a difficult one for backlines. I expect to see the Sloshers come out. We are seeing Tri-Slosher, we are seeing Machine, and we are seeing another Tri-Slosher on the side of Frostbite as well. So this is going to be very interesting, I believe. Also, X-Ray playing the, I believe, the Dark Tetra is going to be fun to see.
Yeah, we actually see Frostbite giving up on that charger and still sticking with the Nautilus. But actually, on the side of Pony Strikers, I think they believe in the ballpoint and they're sticking with their guns with it.
They are. Unfortunately, the ballpoint and their Tri-Slosher are going to be going down as Frostbite moves up to take control of mid. But, you know, if they can hold this for long enough, then, well, there we go. There's the retake. 2 players still down on the side of Pony Strikes. And Frostbite, we can see they are setting up at the top of Pony Strikes ramp here. We're seeing Reborn get the tactical out. We can hopefully see them go in and try and win a couple of fights with this. Hold back Pony Strikes as much as they can. But we can already see how on the side of Pony Strikes, that ballpoint is trying to set up to try and really defend the Frostbite, really defend them from Frostbite pushing too far ahead here, Russ.
Yeah, definitely. And we see all the specials coming out. A Booyah Bomb, the Vacuum, and the Inkjet on the side of Pony Strike trying to regain their side of the map.
Yeah, and it does look like they do manage to neutralize zone here, but it's going to take them a little bit of effort to try and get to the other side. They do throw a sprinkler there in some kind of hope that they will be able to do that, but unfortunately that gets taken out, and Frostbite manages to cap the zone once again. They've had an impressive amount of map control here, I believe, Frostbite, knowing that they don't have to push up necessarily too far ahead to have control of the zone, but they just need to be at the exact like height on this map, the exact height where it's too dangerous to be able. Well, that's the game actually. I'm gonna talk about this for a little bit longer, but they just had to be at the exact height where it was just far too dangerous for Pony Strikes to be able to come back in, and I think that's what they were really playing off of there. Even when they did have the tactical, we didn't see them push too far down the ramp. They made sure that any attempt that Pony Strikes made to come back in, they were there ready and waiting for them just to walk right into danger.
Yeah, and I think the key thing from the counter push on the side of Pony Strikes was Frostbite moved back to their zone, and they knew they could just stay there while Pony Strike was still trying to get back to their own zone. And that's pretty much how they played that whole game. They played, again, a bit more patiently. They knew when to push up, when to fall back, and if they died, they had that tactic cooler to respawn and get back into position.
Yeah, some really good thing about Tactical, I gotta say, and I think I'm loving seeing how it's working on Frostbite's roster at the moment. We did see actually, I believe, in the Clan Blitz game, we saw a similar play style, even though it was really patient, knowing when to push forward, when to hold back, and stuff like that. That we saw, especially when they were trying to make that final push. Unfortunately, I feel like for them, it didn't quite work in the Clan Blitz game, but you know, it works super well on Splatzone's Cloud Heights. I'm looking forward to seeing actually what they bring to Tower Control on Inkling Art Academy, as we are going to be going to a Game 3 with one on either side. I'm very excited to see this.
Yeah, we're going into what everyone likes to call is the final destination for Splatoon map modes. Pretty much everyone likes going here.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like, you know, if you're gonna be watching competitive Splatoon, you'll be watching Inkling Art Academy Tower Control. This is just the choice for competitive Splatoon 3. And you know what? I do think that like there are a couple of problems I find with Tower Control, which can be difficult to work against, namely the passive special charge when you are riding the tower. So defending against that can be tricky, but on Inkling Art Academy, of course, you've got really nice defensive positions. You've got the bats you can play around with. You've got what I will always call garlic, also known as foot or statue or whatever, which has like multiple names. You know that little pillar in the middle of that as well. It does look like we are going to be going out. It looks like actually on Frostbite we're seeing very similar. I believe the same comp. It's fairly short range compared to what Pony Strikes is bringing up.
Yeah, Pony Strikes actually having that more patient comp compared to Frostbite this time, but we have to be careful of this 96 gal. We always hear about the GG Kraken on Tower or Clam Blitz, and they can easily do that on this map.
Yeah, it does look like we did see the Kraken come out. They were looking for a pick. I don't think they managed to get too much off of that, but you know, at least asserting a little bit of their presence there, just as if to say, don't worry, I'll be back. There's more Kraken to come here.
Yes, indeed. And we see that no one really pushing the tower too much. They're all just playing in mid right now, seeing if they can play this neutral game. And we see 3 go down on the side of Pony Strikes, and Frostbite starts going up.
Yeah, a great double, I have to say, from Pony Strikes there, from their machine play. It does look like, unfortunately, Frostbite 2 plays, 3 plays, once again going down. This is the chance Pony Strikes needs to be able to push up ahead to get some more points on the board. They do have that little bit of a lead, but, you know, the score is only in the 80s at the moment. They still have a lot of space they need to take up here. We're seeing the tower being contested by the Strikes, but that crab being set up right there on that just above that just right in front of that as well is going to really hold this area for them and make sure that that tower is safe to get back on. It does look like they do have to get pushed off just a little bit. Frostbite, with their amazing zone control, with their amazing sense of like knowing exactly where to be to stop their pushes. We're seeing the tower not being able to really get past this little corner at the moment. Maybe they can get it through here, Rice. What do we think?
Yeah, we see the Booyah Bomb coming out. I think that's to support them through this left side. But we see that Frostbite playing really strong defense, making sure that they clear out bats and then they focus the tower after that.
Yeah, and we're seeing actually Frostbite has taken up almost all of mid here, which is great to see, having all of this control for them to be able, all this movement options also to be able to play around with the strikes coming out once again to try and clear them out of those bats. But you know, with all 4 players down, all 4 players up, it does look like they do manage to win a fight here. 3 players have gone down on the side of Pony Strikes, and there's the wipeout. This could be Frostbite pushing all the way up ahead, playing off this wipeout, making sure that you have this constant pressure, as we can see up in front of mid, up in front of like those uninkable ramps as well. This is going to be very difficult for Pony Strikes, I believe, to break out of, with all of these strikes from Frostbite coming out as well. But you know, there's the Kraken actually. There's the Kraken looking around for a pick.
But I think the Kraken actually goes down after it expires, and we just see Frostbite continue putting the pressure onto Pony Strike's plat.
Yeah, they are putting a lot of pressure here. Players are going down, however, this is going to be a little bit difficult for Frostbite to continue the push, as Pony Strikes has found their opportunity, I believe, to start coming back in, but they are going to have to play the slow game here, I believe, just making sure they can move in with these fizzy bombs, with these bit of chip damage that they possibly can play off of here. Does look like there is a fight happening out on the side. They do manage to both go down, unfortunately, and Trixie here trying to get this Kraken out, hopefully getting a pick, which they do here on X-Ray. It looks like they're looking for another one. If they can go for the double, perhaps the triple. Does look like, however, this is going to be where they go down as well. Getting a great pick on Stunger as well. Now, Pony Strikes is 3 down, Frostbite is 2. So at the moment, as people are respawning in, we are going back to how we need to game. But Pony Strikes still have to get through that next.
Yeah, and we can see that it's back into neutral, and Pony Strikes really needs to start moving up now. There's only really 40 seconds left of the game, and they need to start pushing the tower towards that left side.
Yeah, they absolutely do. I feel like they have the arsenal to be able to do that, especially if they manage to get their Inkjet, their Kraken, their Booyah Bomb to be able to all work together in just the right way. Oh, look at this fantastic two picks from the Kraken. This is exactly the Kraken play that I believe they need to be able to not only just like get those picks, but also assert their present, reposition to make it incredibly dangerous for them to be fought against from the side of Frostbite. That does look like they get the lead here in the very final second. And that was, oh my goodness, that was an impressive play, I gotta say. What do you think of what happened there at the very end of that game, Rice?
That is just, I think, that is the struggle of tower control, where you have to be a little patient, but if you let the tower move, they're gonna get lead. But if you don't stop it now, you're just feeding in, right? And that's like, it's so tricky because also Pony Strikes has the special advantage as I think they were just holding on to a Booyah Bomb. So like if Frostbite was able to take that tower, they had the Booyah Bomb to cover it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I believe like having Booyah Bomb, especially in the last few moments, especially in Inkblot Art Academy, considering the radius that it has, can always be like a really powerful choice here. But yeah, that was fantastic set, I gotta say. Pony Strikes going 2-1 against Frostbite. Kudos also to Frostbite for putting up such a really good fight, especially in that second game, I have to say. But that does mean that Frostbite will be out, and Pony Strikes will be moving on to round 3, playing against Picklejar, which is definitely going to be exciting, I believe, an exciting matchup. Now, wow, I really enjoyed watching that set, Rice.
It was such a back and forth set. Each team showing what they do best with the comps that they have.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we're gonna go into a little bit of a break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Swimmer Sync 118 Great White. I believe this is the top 4. I'm Rice, and I'm here with my lovely commentating co-caster, Lily. We're gonna be commentating Velocity versus Sweet Tooth. Lily, take it away.
All right, I'm excited to see this. I've been watching. I feel like I've been watching Velocity play in a bunch of tournament casts recently. Of course, a very strong team. I'm looking forward to see play against Sweet Tooth here. Just looking at these rosters, Velocity we have Splatak, Abysmal, Dat Kid, Yoda Bronze, and Sam. Unfortunately, didn't get to see the roster of Sweet Tooth that quickly, but. Looking at these map modes, we'll be starting off with Rainmaker on Museum Dalfonsino before moving on into Clan Blitz, Humpback, Pump Track. You know, I always love talking about Clan Blitz, but I want to talk a little bit about Rainmaker on Museum. And this map mode, I feel there are a few different ways it can go, and I feel like you and I, Rice, must have talked about this before, must have spoken about this a little bit before, because I remember having commentated at least some sets of Rainmaker Museum here, possibly more than a few times, where games can either be just like over very quickly, or a lead can be made down to like a score of 5 or something, but then that could just be carried over to the end of overtime or whatever, so it can definitely be a struggle sometimes to get that final checkpoint. But you know, if there's a really good back and forth game here, which we might see, because of course, you know, this is top cut, this is the top 4 teams of Sumo Sync, we could see some I believe some really interesting, hopefully very even pushes here as well. We are going to be going into the game, however. Bronze playing the Siege Jet, which is a very fun, interesting, exciting to see as well. Looks like that rain is going to be coming out at some point, because that's already online. But on Velocity, it looks like that Octobrush has already gone down. But you know what? Sweet Tooth has taken up a really good amount of control here, setting up around this ramp. Rice.
Yeah, we can see on the side of Sweet Tooth, they actually bring out the Squeezer, which I think is a really strong main weapon, and paired with that Tactic Cooler can do a lot of things on this map.
Yeah, absolutely. It already looks like they're trying to deal with this crab at some point, or really just apply some pressure here. That crab has noticed the squeeze there and trying to get them out of the game, which 3 players have gone down on the side of Sweet Tooth, giving a clear path to that checkpoint. That was so clean, nice.
Yeah, we can see Velocity taking as much space on this plat as they can, and slowly they're gonna start pushing up with that rain as they just used it.
Yeah, absolutely. This rain, I believe this is a good choice for Velocity to be able to at least have that support for their front line here. They are going to be running ahead, getting the score down to 31, but 3 players have gone down. Sweet Tooth popping the Rainmaker shield there, trying to set up at least on the plat here, overlooking mid to move forward and gain a little bit of space. They can get this really aggressive frontline position. It looks like they may be able to get a pick, which they do on that kid right there, but with 2 players down on Velocity, I do believe that they're going to be bringing out that crab tank to try and stop anything from happening. They really don't want Sweet Tooth grabbing the Rainmaker and getting the checkpoint, which it looks like they're setting up to do really well, actually.
Yeah, we can see that Nautilus playing very aggressively. They know that and we actually see a really good Zuka shot there. But we can see that Nautilus doing a lot of work. But Velocity dropping that Rainmaker into this corner. This is going to be really awkward for Sweet Tooth to grab back.
Yeah, absolutely. They do manage to take down the Rainmaker, but that Rainmaker, if they manage to keep it in that position or manage to have like at least a clear path, they can get it without too much of a hassle back on the plat here. They just need the support of the rest of their team, and we're seeing this aggressive Nautilus, as you mentioned, already pushing quite far ahead, but they are getting pressured by that crab tank. That crab tank seems to be always coming out at the opportune defensive moments as well, just to hold back anything happening. But did you notice that the actually the Rainmaker stayed alive throughout that whole period of time that crab tank was pretty much out? They couldn't be taken out at that moment. It does look like that Rainmaker might perhaps be reset at some point, I believe, guys, or at least they're just trying to hold it at the moment.
I think they're just. Yeah, it looks like they're holding it. They're gonna drop it into this corner, which again is pretty awkward for the side of Sweet Tooth to pick up.
Definitely awkward, but I reckon that was pretty smart choice, I have to say. Even if Velocity went 3 players down there, having that Rainmaker in that awkward position just means it's like another walk across the map to get the Rainmaker there, which is time you don't necessarily want to lose. Now, the scores are really close here. We're seeing this crab tank come out to at least try and support a push back into mid. The Rainmaker has been picked up. They're looking around to try and pressure back anyone who might be dropping down from the left side. They're looking around to trying to see if there's anyone coming from the right side. And hopefully, if they can set something up here, they might be able to at least keep control of mid at the moment without going down to this Trizuka, which unfortunately does look like is going to be taking out at least a couple of people with 3. So actually, I gotta say, all 4 players on Sweet Tooth going down after that. This is where Velocity might actually try and get a bigger lead if they can.
Yeah, Velocity playing patiently until they got that wipe, and I think they might just hold on to the Rainmaker and onto this plat while still trying to put pressure up, but they bring it back to where they brought the lead to in the first place.
Yeah, this is going to be a very close game. We are in the last 30 seconds here, but with the amount of paint that Velocity has around the map, this is going to be difficult, I believe, for Sweet Tooth to be able to do much about at the moment without too much of like this pressure that they're getting put on by Velocity. Oh my goodness, I have to say, Velocity causing that Rainmaker to go down right there in these last few seconds. Looks like they are going to be holding it, and they are going to be taking this game. This is going to be very difficult to take into overtime for Sweet Tooth. I gotta say, Velocity definitely made some pretty smart and interesting choices, I have to say, but having all of mid, basically 3/4 of the map painted up their color in the last 30 seconds, definitely would have made it super difficult for Sweet Tooth to be able to push out of that and try and go for a lead, even if the lead was only 4 points.
Yeah, we just saw Velocity do a really good job of defense, and I think that custom jet sculpture was huge to that defense because with the toxic mist, with the rain, it can just stall out as long as they can.
Oh, absolutely. And I was thinking, having Rain, even though both teams played Rain, it was great to see how Velocity managed to use Rain to be able to not just, like, as you mentioned, defend and stall out, and also like the Toxic Mist as well. It's just slows you down just that much. And also I gotta say, like, with the chip damage from the rain as well, can be pretty deadly, all things considered. But the way they also use that rain to be able to help that initial push, all the way down to whatever it was early on in the game, it may have been down to that score of 31. Definitely a great choice that they managed to work really well with their comp and play off of really well as well, because not every single Inkstorm is going to work wonders like we saw in that game, but those Inkstorms definitely, I believe, worked wonders. I'm curious to see what they bring to Clan Blitz, Humpback Pump Track.
I think they might stick with this. I think on the side of Velocity, I think they might stick with the C-Jet. I think for the side of Sweet Tooth, they also might stick with the same comp. I think it could just be the map was tough for them to play. It could be the game mode. They're really close to taking that lead back. So this set is definitely not over for Sweet Tooth yet.
Oh, absolutely. I do believe that the way Sweet Tooth were playing in that first Rainmaker game, if they manage to move in together very quickly, of course, you can get some very strong pushes here. There are quite a few spots, I believe, to kind of sneak in a bunch of clam jumps as well here. Oh, actually, this is interesting. Is that a double Inkjet comp we're seeing from the side of, I believe, Velocity?
Yeah, we see the double jet with the Anaki, Nova, and the V Tri-Slosher coming out.
Yeah, and so that means I believe we are going to get that kind of like almost C-Jet style chip damage main weapon, because that's always like a difficult weapon to fight with, I find, unless you're pairing up extremely well with the other players on your team. Does look like, however, Sweet Tooth has painted up the middle of the map. They're setting up the controller, making sure that their players aren't going down. We're seeing this really cool jump, I gotta say, in and out to try and reposition here from the Octobros, trying to at least try and stay safe, trying to go for a pick. Unfortunately, going down there as well. I gotta say, with those players going down on Sweet Tooth, Velocity might be able to push up ahead and get the Clam Basket open, Rice.
Yeah, I think something funny to notice is actually Velocity giving up on the Octobrush and Sweet Tooth actually bringing back that Octobrush on their side.
Yeah, Sweet Tooth just got that wipeout there, I think, or some wipeout happened. It looks like the score might be flipping to the other side, I believe, if Sweet Tooth can get some more clams in. It does look like they do manage to take lead here, but they are up against a lot of pressure from Velocity at the moment, with those two players ending up going down here. Not a huge lead, and these pushes have been kind of small so far. I believe we might be seeing some fairly small pushes unless either team finds just the right opportunity to set up and take a really big lead here. We are seeing like a lot of fights, so it's pretty much a bloodbath, I have to say, at the moment, Rice.
Yeah, definitely. And we see actually Sweet Tooth gets the second basket open and they're slowly pouring in these clams. They might be able to push it down to below 30 and they get it to 29 right now.
Yeah, but with those three players going down, Velocity is slowly moving up once again. That kid kind of looking around here, trying to at least get a little bit of a pick here if they can, but having to move back knowing that they are marked. If they can get that power time here, they've painted up, that kid painted up for them. Does look like, unfortunately, that gets taken out by those two players right there that kind of surrounded them. Does look like with two players down once again on Velocity. Sweet Tooth are going to have to find a way to collect enough clams to be able to either continue that push or to make something happen off of this, but it might be a little bit difficult if all those players are going down at the moment. Oh my goodness, and another one right there.
Yeah, I think that's a delayed wipe on the side of Sweet Tooth and Velocity. This is their opening to try to score even more clams.
Yeah, absolutely. That delayed wipe was huge, and those power clams coming in as well, getting scored down to 38. Now, unfortunately, they are pushed back, but this is something they can really work with, Rice, because they do have 2 minutes, 2 minutes left on the clock. That's ample time to be able to get a play like that back on the side of Velocity as well. That's ample time for them to be able to create some kind of lead off of what Sweet Tooth has been able to push down to. But Sweet Tooth setting up quite strong here, at least trying to create as much space for themselves to move around. They are getting a bit displaced here by the Inkjet, however, Rice.
Yeah, definitely. And I think something that Velocity needs to be careful of is if Sweet Tooth gets 2 more power clams in, that's gonna be a tougher lead to break into if they're pushing.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know what? I think Sweet Tooth is definitely gonna be in the advantage at the moment, even if they are getting pushed. Even if Velocity is getting pushed back, actually, Sweet Tooth has actually got quite a lot of paint on the ground, but Velocity trying to come back in with those Trizookas once again, slowly moving ahead. We can see them trying to set up at least around the right side of the map. If Sweet Tooth can push them out of that area, maybe they can hold this lead, but we have about 45 seconds left, and Velocity is really trying to set another push up at the moment with the Crab Tank and the Inkjet, or at least one of those Inkjets coming out, Rice.
Yeah, and Velocity has all this map control. They have all of mid, but Sweet Tooth actually takes 2 down, and this might be Sweet Tooth's opportunity to stop this push from Velocity.
Yeah, Sweet Tooth is doing really well, holding out as many players of Velocity as possible. Always at least getting like 1 player down. They do manage to actually find another opening with 3 players down on the side of Velocity, and it looks like that is going to be game at the moment. Oh my goodness, that kind of happened in the blink of an eye. As soon as they noticed, wait, this is our chance to go. We got to get this power climb in. They went for it, and that's exactly what I believe they were also doing when they managed to get that huge lead down to 29 as well. It just kind of happened in the blink of an eye. As soon as they noticed their opportunity, they absolutely went for it, Rice.
Yeah, we saw on the side of Sweet Tooth, they took advantage of the 2 down on Velocity, and they just pushed up as much as they can, and like we always say, clam economy is so important on this map, or on Clam Blitz just in general, and we saw that Sweet Tooth was ready to push with all those clams.
Yeah, absolutely. And every time Sweet Tooth did push, maybe aside from the very first one where they only managed to really break the basket open and get a couple of clams in, because of Velocity's fantastic defense early on in the game. But I have to say, them being able to coordinate all those clams and push in together, this is why I love Clam Blitz. You know, this is why I really love Clam Blitz. You can get like a wipeout in any other mode and be able to just directly push off of that. But in Clam Blitz, you have to be able to not just get that wipeout and try and push off of that, but you have to have your clam economy. You have to know what your priorities are in terms of being able to push objective, which I gotta say is not necessarily exactly the same as every single other mode. Of course, you do have to understand objective in every single mode. Of course, you gotta know where you want to position as well to make your objective play as successful as possible. But in Clam Blitz especially, being able to coordinate those clams, being able to push in and make those opportunities when you have even just 2 players down, not necessarily even a wipeout like we saw at the very end, you can make those really game-changing plays or game-ending plays like we saw in that game of Clam Blitz on the Humpback Pump Track. We will be going, however, to Umami Ruin Splat Zones next.
Yeah, Umami Ruin Spot Zones. This is a very ruthless map, I would say. If your opponents get pushed up, it's almost impossible to try to push back out of your spawn. So I think the most important thing will be the neutral game at the beginning and making sure that the teams are using their specials at times where they can start pushing back in.
Yeah, I feel like this map mode is definitely the one where you have to consider how you're going to retake, or have to consider how you're going to push in when the other team is controlling that choke point. Because it all comes down to, I believe, anyway, who's controlling that choke point more than anything else, and how you can get them out of there. We are seeing already Velocity trying to go for the zones. They do manage to very really take it. Sweet Tooth might be able to get back in though with this. Strikes already trying to help them set up and move into that choke point. Unfortunately, that may have been a little bit too early for them to be able to get anything off of that. But you know, this is the neutral game, and Velocity looks like they might be able to cap this zone. Which are they going to? Are they going to rise?
I think they will, but it is very contested. As I said earlier, these two teams know that they cannot go down fast and in groups of 2 or 3, so they're playing it as slow as they can.
Yeah, absolutely. We do see, however, Sweet Tooth being able to get at least 2 points for themselves. It's almost been a minute and we've barely seen the score budge, but Sweet Tooth is starting to set up around the choke point at the moment. We can see Velocity just patiently waiting for them to come in closer, but they don't see anyone just yet. So they're going to try and start to at least try to get back this choke point and start pushing back in, at least with the Rain and the Trizuka. However, it does look like they may be a little bit pressured by some of the players on Sweet Tooth, especially as we saw that Ztrikes there. But look at these Strikes coming out. They're already helping them retain this lead as the score goes down to the low 40s at the moment.
Yeah, we can see Sweet Tooth just doing a really good job of knowing when to push up, and then if they see danger, starting to fall back. And that's how they kept this zone for so long.
Yeah, absolutely. I do want to see Velocity try and play off the specials that they have to be able to push back in. But unfortunately, I do believe that with this wipeout, I think Sweet Tooth is just going to be able to holding this for even longer, getting through this rain as well, getting their jumps back in, trying to hold this top mid area, which of course is a great position to hold if you really want to hold these zones as well. But it does look like with the score down to 5 and with players going down on the side of Velocity and Sweet Tooth, they might not be able to hold it. But you know what? With 3 players down on Velocity, I think Sweet Tooth are definitely going to be working to get this back. If they can win this fight on the side, which they managed to, getting the score down to 4, 3, 2, and... Huh? Did they lose control here? No, here we go. That's the game. I almost had a moment of, hang on. That score stopped for a moment, but it looks like they managed to get it back at the very end.
Yeah, we saw that Velocity went 3 down, and it was just the brush alone all on their own on that right side or on that right zone. They uncapped it, but then went down. Someone else jumped in. They also went down, and another person, instead of going to the right zone, they went to that left zone, and it was just very stally. But Velocity just never able to cap both zones at the same time to give Sweet Tooth that penalty.
Yeah, absolutely. They do need to get both zones to get the penalty. That's absolutely right. You can't just keep it neutral here. And I do believe that, like, if you're jumping in and not being able to get your whole team, especially when you have to break out of that choke point and start actually contesting the zone, it's very, very difficult here on Umami Ruins to be able to do that with only 1 player coming in at a time. But of course, Sweet Tooth managed to get the victory here. Velocity taking a fantastic game off them. I gotta say, that Rainmaker game, they definitely put up a great fight. They gave an incredible show across all 3 games. But I gotta say, congrats to Sweet Tooth for taking this set, and that will be moving on to the next round.
Yeah, I believe we're waiting on this other set on the other side, but we will be back for grand finals of Sweet Tooth versus whoever is the winner of this last set.
Welcome back, everyone, to Swimmer Sync number 118. We are up to the grand finals of Great White Bracket. We're going to be watching Sweet Tooth play against Pony Strikes in these last few games. I'm excited to see them play against each other. We saw some great sets against some other, them playing against some other teams earlier, including, I believe, some really interesting matches between Pony Strikes and Frostbite that I definitely enjoyed. I enjoyed seeing the really fast and powerful play style from Pony Strikes. I'm curious to see actually if they bring out the Kraken again, because I loved seeing them bring out the Kraken in that tower control game. We are looking at now the rosters of both teams, Rice.
Yeah, and we already went through these earlier, but we see a Hermit, Daybreak, I think it's Keto and Junkie, and on the other side, Pony Strikes, we have Trixie, Zaska, Datsu, I think that's Murphy, if I'm correct, and then Mitch 45.
Yeah, this is gonna be a fun matchup, I gotta say, after seeing those last two sets. Definitely excited to see how they play against each other. This is going to be a best of 5 game, so we might see a game 5 here. Considering how strong these teams are, we are going to be seeing, however, the first game being played on Tower Control Sturgeon Shipyard. Now, I know I mentioned the Kraken. We might be seeing the Kraken come back on Tower Control once again. And you mentioned, Rice, you mentioned those GG's Krakens. That can definitely happen on Tower Control. But what I really like to see actually from the Kraken plays is being able to pick off players and reposition in such a way where it's just so annoying to be able to fight against. And I'm hoping to see maybe if we do get a bit of Kraken coming in, something like that. Well, Commentators curse, looks like we're not seeing a Kraken this game.
Yeah, but we do see both teams going with a very fast-paced comp. Both on the side of Pony Strikers, we see the Tri-Slosher with the Cooler, but we also see a double bucket comp.
Yeah, we are seeing a double bucket comp, and I think that double bucket is definitely going to be a good choice, especially on a map which has so much verticality like Sturgeon Shipyard. We are seeing a bit of a fight break out here on the side, and that jump as well. It looks like that is going to be giving Pony Strikes the lead here, especially with the Cooler on tower, the Crab Tank coming out, and we can see Trixie already setting up on that snipe position as well. We can see also the Crab Tank, it's not the Crab Tank, I mean the Inkjet, unfortunately going down inside of Pony Strikes. Hopefully Sweet Tooth with these Tri-Strikes can regain control of mid again. It looks like they're getting a lot of ping out at the moment, being able to help their team move up ahead, Rice.
Yeah, we see this Wiper Deco pushing up really aggressively. They're on the opponent's in their court by the sponge, and they were actually at that window earlier, setting up beacons for their team.
Yeah, absolutely, and they have a beacon set up right next to the sponge as well. This is going to be a pretty good spot to jump in on, just to try and pressure their court. We are seeing the strikes come out. This looks like a really good push on the side of Sweet Tooth here. It's going to be difficult for Pony Strikes to try and break out of, but we can see with the Inkjet, they're definitely trying to contest this tower, getting a great click on Hermit here. 4 players actually have gone down. That is the wipeout that Pony Strikes definitely needs to be able to at least stop that push and try and move up ahead, but they still have a bit of room to go. We can see already one of the players trying to set up really far ahead near that tower and jumping on as well, just for the brief moment. They have Sweet Tooth has pushed it down to a score of 3, so they just need to be able to hold this lead. And with 3 minutes, I gotta say 3 minutes, anything can happen, but this could be a 3-minute defense we might be seeing here, Rice.
I will say this, TC Sturgeon, any lead besides a knockout is not safe. This map is so snowbally, and you have to be extremely careful on defense.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are seeing, however, Pony Strikes being able to set up with the Inkjet, getting a great pick, however, onto those right grates, unfortunately going down to the wiper. There's the wipeout. Unfortunately, Pony Strikes not being able to move the tower any further from that, as Sweet Tooth has already regained so much of map control here, with Pony Strikes trying to move in trying to deal with Sweet Tooth at the moment, especially with this Viper really being an absolute menace up in the front lines, constantly getting at least a bit of support behind them from those Strikes as well, still staying alive as well and helping get that wipe out. It looks like we might be going even all the way to the knockout win here, Rice.
Yeah, and we see Sweet Tooth with that knockout. They took every single advantage that they had, every wipeout that they had, they started moving up. Every little space that they could make out, they just made sure that they took advantage of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was great seeing how the Wiper Deco knew exactly that they wanted to help their team create that incredibly powerful frontline presence, but also getting support from those Strikes, support from the players behind them, at least so they know that if they are getting pressured by Pony Strikes, they can fall back and have their have their position covered by someone else as well. But having also those not just being able to move in so quickly to help get those jumps in just from where they're positioning, but also from those beacons as well, definitely helped out to allow Sweet Tooth to be able to hold so much pressure for so long in that game.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm excited to see this next game on Rainmaker Scorch. This similar to a lot of Rainmaker maps. On Rainmaker Scorch, you most likely will not get to that knockout. There's such a long hallway that you need to get through.
It is a very long hallway, and with all of the damage that can be raining down on you from those defensive spots around the spawn, or just like outside of the spawn of the other team, it can definitely be like a situation where you might just be chipping down the score just ever so little, just a bit by bit at a time, to try and hold something there. But you know what, with all those options for moving back into the map and taking up space on the other side, we can see some pretty impressive score flips as well on a map like Scorch Gorge Rainmaker. We are seeing the match start, however, and this is going to be fun to see. I gotta say, we are seeing, I believe, similar comps, or the same comp.
We're seeing the V Wiper coming out from Sweet Tooth, and we see that we're looking at a V shot instead of a Tri-Slosher.
That is true. I have to say, I think having the vanilla Wiper here is definitely a good choice in Rainmaker to at least like help create that frontline position, help forge a path ahead for the Rainmaker. It does look like, however, 3 players have gone down the side of Pony Strikes. This is going to be difficult for them to be breaking back out of, but that is the opportunity Sweet Tooth needs to be able to get that first checkpoint, and being able to get that rain out as well to apply some more pressure to at least help them position up a little bit further ahead, especially with also those Strikes as well. If they can get a pick, which they do, they get the double, and unfortunately it does look like they get wiped out by Pony Strikes here, who were playing on the defense, and Pony Strikes picking up the Rainmaker, taking it over to the other side, trying to get control of that ramp here, Rice.
Yeah, we can see Pony Strikes, even though they got the Rainmaker, it was only the Rainmaker live for a couple seconds, and Sweet Tooth having that opportunity to set up this defense.
Yeah, this Rainmaker is definitely going to have to be playing very patiently. Does look like, unfortunately, they do get taken down in the pit right there. And Sweet Tooth already with they've had a lot of paint on the ground for so much this game, but having that paint is just going to allow them to be able to move up ahead whenever they so please, especially when players are moving down. Look at that dodge of the Trizuka. Unfortunately, they don't manage to get all the way through there with the Inkjet taking them out, and the Inkjet getting another pick as well on Sweet Tooth, but they do manage to get the score down to or around that area as well. The score's down at 36 here, but as you were saying, you know, it's kind of difficult to get that knockout win here, and we may be seeing the score just chip down little by little on this map mode. Right.
Yeah, we can see Sweet Tooth slowly pushing up with that Zipcaster and Tri-Strike, but actually 2 people going down, and Pony Strike doing a great job on defense.
Yeah, they're definitely doing a great job here. It's been difficult for them to be able to actually regain control of mid, but it does look like with this Inkjet setting up in the grates, which is very interesting to see, I gotta say, to at least clear out the area behind that snipe as well. Perhaps also with the Trizuka cleaning out that area as well, perhaps they can actually make something work off of this space they've been able to create. Unfortunately, however, Sweet Tooth is pressuring them back. It's difficult for them to move out of that pit, I have to say, and one player going down on the side of Sweet Tooth is things are definitely looking a little bit dire for Sweet Tooth in terms of regaining control here.
Yeah, we can see that Pony Strike's moving up towards the middle, towards mid, but the ball point goes down, and it's quite a neutral, even game right now.
It is. I think I meant to say that was. Actually Pony Strikes having a little bit of trouble coming back in. But you know what? Pony Strikes actually got a double there, which was very good. We can see them setting up. Actually, Sweet Tooth setting up on to stop Pony Strikes from being able to push back out from their spawn area as well. This is going to be a difficult position to move into if you're Sweet Tooth at the moment, with the amount of damage you're going to have to be running through. But we are seeing players going down, 2 players down on the side of Pony Strikes. They might be able to run this forward, but you know, that's the wipeout as well. Sweet Tooth has actually got the opportunity that they might need to get the knockout win. No, they keep going down, Rice.
Yeah, we saw that Hammer actually get the Rainmaker pop, but they die to that Rainmaker shield. And this Inkjet was used a little early, but they're just using it to clear out their spawn area right now.
Yeah, it looks like Pony Strikes, they have not been able to get any points on the board at the moment. They really need to be able to work together with their specials to be able to start pushing up ahead, because when they have been able to use their specials, they have been able to at least try and get some amount of control here. We can see actually the Booyah Bomb coming out, but you know what, that Booyah Bomb just a little bit far back from them to be able to push in from. There is a pick happening, but you know, 3 players have gone down and the Rainmaker down in that pit once again. This is going to be very difficult for Pony Strikes to be able to grab and go, and Sweet Tooth painting up, making sure they have all the space to move in. I believe this is going to be Sweet Tooth's game here, Rice.
Yeah, and the Rainmaker's about to reset. Unless Pony Striker picked this up, they're not. Yeah, that's game for them.
That is going to be game for them. Pony Strikes definitely trying to find as many opportunities as they can to at least regain control of mid, but with Sweet Tooth's impressive paint output, impressive like movement as well, being able to just keep their front line going, keep their constant forward pressure going. That was always going to be, I think, and there's the fist bump. I love seeing fist bumps at the end of matches. That's definitely going to be difficult for any team to be able to try and contest, especially when you're coming back and respawning. You don't want to be staggering, especially when you've got almost an entire team up in your face like that, like we saw Sweet Tooth there. I gotta say though, with the amount of paint control they have, that's definitely going to work wonders for them in a game of Clan Blitz.
Yeah, we're going on to Clamblitz Museum, and by how aggressive Sweet Tooth has been playing, I think it might be similar to this Rainmaker game where they're putting as much pressure as they can onto the side of Pony Strikes.
Yeah, and I do believe that, especially when you're playing with such a strong wiper, you've always got that pressure, not just from being able to hold a really frontline position and pick really good fights, which we've been seeing that wiper player do, but also play off those ledges and really pressure those ledges, which are a very important thing to definitely be pressuring here on Museum Clans. Now, the thing about that though is that Museum Del Poncino has quite a few options to drop down from and to make use of, at least like a flank over on the right hand side as well. So if you're able to make really good use of that, then I do believe that we might be seeing perhaps either team be able to at least cause a little bit of a distraction, hopefully, as the other team manages to push back around. I remember in the Rainmaker game, actually, whenever we saw the Rainmaker kind of die in that corner there, if they manage to use at least some kind of distraction like that, or push the fight in a certain area, then perhaps they might be able to find an opening elsewhere to be able to really gain a bit more control and move some power clams over. I believe, but you know what? We are going to be seeing the weapon comps come out. We are seeing actually. I'm curious to see how this plays out here. I gotta say, we are seeing very similar things here. I like to see a Nautilus on Museum, especially because of the rain around the spinners that can create a really good amount of chip damage and a lot of really good pressure to help allow your team move in. Sweet Tooth already, as we mentioned before, they're setting up really strongly as well with this aggressive Nautilus here, already painted up quite a lot of the map price.
Yeah, and we're seeing the Squeezer come back out on the side of Sweet Tooth. I think it might just be a Museum pick because they brought this out last time on Museum Rainmaker.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those weapons that if you can position yourself like far back enough to be safe, you can get some really great picks and always be an absolute danger to anyone on the other team who's trying to move forwards in these fairly open areas that we do see around the middle of Museum here.
And we see that it's just a game of neutral right now. No one really getting too big of an advantage, but I think Sweet Tooth is going to start moving on to the plat of Pony Strikers.
They may very well, and it does look like, however, with the amount of pressure they have, and also with those trying strikes, it does look like they are thinking of playing off this at the moment, trying to at least get control of that spinner, but it does look like get taken down at that moment. Someone else picking up the power clam and throwing it in as 3 players have gone down on the side of Pony Strikes. They're going to be trying to keep this frontline pressure up and going for as long as possible, but we're actually seeing Pony Strikes coming up around on the top right side, trying to at least apply some pressure from up there. 1 player has gone down on the side of Pony Strikes, however, but 2 players down. This might be a little bit of a tricky situation as the score keeps taking down in favor of Sweet Tooth.
Yeah, Sweet Tooth has got a huge push right away, and Pony Strikes needs to take control of mid and make sure that they can make as big as a push as they did as well.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness, did you see how, what the hell, what in the world was that Trizuka? That was, as that Trizuka triple coming out right there just to help them get this clan basket open once again. You know, this is why I believe we are seeing quite a lot of people picking up Trizuka weapons, at least, or knowing that, like, if you play a Trizuka weapon, you've got something really strong in your hands since the buff. But you know, that was just a fantastic triple, all things considered, knowing that the rest of Pony Strikes are going to be trying to drop down from there. It does look like, however, that push has stopped here, and Pony Strikes is actually going to be trying to take a bit of control of mid here. 2 players have actually gone down, but 3 players on the side of Sweet Tooth. Maybe they can keep this going and see if they can actually make something out of the space that they're trying to create for themselves, Rice.
Yeah, I think on the side of Pony Sharks, they need to be careful of this Octobrush. This Octobrush has been really pesky and taking flanks whenever they can.
Yeah, absolutely, and flanks here can definitely be one of the stronger flank maps, I gotta say, in terms of the Splatoon 3. Well, it's not really a Splatoon 3 original, is it? It's come back from Splatoon 1, but this is definitely like the Splatoon 3 version of Museum. Of course, looks like we are seeing actually Sweet Tooth already getting another push set up. They can get only just like 1 more power clam and a few more clams in, and they have the game here, Rice, I believe. But with 2 players down, it looks like they're just going to be throwing that final clam in without even considering that they want to get anyone else in. If they have that clam, they're going to go for it. They're going to get that power clam in. It does look like Sweet Tooth have won 3 games in this best of 5, so it looks like we have our Swim or Sink 118 champions here with another fist bump. I have to say, always something I love to see.
Yeah, Sweet Tooth played a really strong grand final set, and Pony Strikes did a really good job just trying to hold their own. We saw just how aggressive Sweet Tooth was, and that might have been an issue for Pony Strikes.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have a team that not only knows how to set up in those positions that are just like so difficult to fight, because we saw that Wiper, I believe, being able to constantly apply some kind of pressure, or at least be able to initiate fights that the rest of the team was just able to capitalize off. Really great skirmishing, I've got to say, from the Wiper throughout all of those games, I have to say. But you know, when you do have a team that's able to not just set up in the positions that you want to set them up in, but also have all of that paint output as well, that's not something to forget about, the paint output that we saw on Sweet Tooth as well. Pony Strikes almost managing to make some kind of comeback in that final game, and I've got to say, Pony Strikes have been playing super well all tournament, as we saw earlier in our commentary block as well, didn't we, Rice?
Yes, we did. And Pony Strike, even though they got second place, they'll be back, I'm sure, next week in Great White to try to win back that first place.
Yeah, and I'm here for them trying to go for that first place once again. I believe that we are going to be passing over to Skep for a little announcement. For a little ad. Okay, we'll be having an advert first before we pass on to a little announcement, however.
Yeah, so are you fresh out of low level or an established mid-level team looking for more practice? Sign up for Level Up. Level Up is a weekly skill cap tournament aimed at mid-level teams. The first tournament is being held this Friday, August 11th, 7 p.m. EDT time. Join the official Discord server at discord.io/levelup_ to sign up and get more information. And Lily, I think that'll be it for us tonight. Where can the lovely people find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter and Twitch. I stream every now and then. And that is at Lily Gravy Bread. That's Lili Gravy Bread, all one word. I'm often somewhere on the internet. You can probably find me around anyway. And as for you, Rice, where can we find you?
Yeah, all the lovely people can find me on Twitter or Twitch at We Like Rice. It's all caps on Twitter and all lowercase on Twitch. So I think it doesn't really matter too much, but thank you everyone for watching, and let's throw it to our lovely head TO Skep.
Hi, thank you so much, Lily. Thank you so much, Rice. My name is Skepidillions, and I am one of the head TOs of SOS, and I just have a couple of thank yous for our amazing staff. While all of our staff work very hard to accomplish running SOS every single week, except for the last Wednesday of the month, I don't think that there's anyone who puts in as much work and care and have to be in the hot seat for the entire event as much as our amazing streamers. I bring this up because we have a couple of people stepping away temporarily or permanently, or changing direction in their lives, and I just want to make sure that their talent and their time is heard and valued. Boing, thank you so much for everything that you've done for Swimmer Sync and what becomes of that. Know that we appreciate and love you very much, and whatever you decide for your future, I just know that you were who we turned to when we needed you most, and you always showed up. And Toshi, it's been so lovely to get to know you these past couple of months, and I'm so glad that we did. You're so funny and silly, and you really do get involved with us on the staff side, and I appreciate it so much, and I wish you so much with your new endeavors, so much well. I hope you get everything that you want out of it. And just, by the way, I don't think that there's anybody with a more creative and expressive spec cam.
Thank you.
You really get into the art of it, gamer, and I wish you the best.
Thank you so much. I would be lying that I am leaving, but I will be back soon. I will be back soon.
I just want to make sure your work is heard, that the people know.
Just for my friends over at Twitch chat, the legacy of Jelly lives on. Go for it. Live on the painter jelly, boater jelly, biker jelly, all the jellies I showed you guys. Man, thank
The
you.
jellies are real.
The jellies are real.
And just to be a head TO for a moment, as Swimmer Sync, we do need staff. It's very important that we are helping new people learn how to staff, as well as being able to metaphorically keep our lights on. So if you type !help us in chat, a little link will pop up with a little form that you could potentially, hypothetically, who really knows, fill out, and potentially, hypothetically, me or one of our other fantastic head TOs will reach out to you, you know, and just saying. Wink, wink. Thank you so much, Toshi, once again.
My
and
pleasure,
congratulations.
Skepta.
Congratulations again, and congratulations to Sweet Tooth and Pony Stripes. And that's it from me. Thank you all for tuning in to 118 Swimmer Sync. We'll see you next week. Stay fresh.
Stay fresh. Stand by for a raid. Alright guys, the raid has been created. Make sure to spread our love to our homie Inkfam. And see you next week for Swimmer Sync 119 and onward.